All right, sitting here in Kilgallon's Pub at the Laugh Factory studio. I've got two great guests. I'm very excited about this podcast. Sitting to my left, I've got Sarah Perry. That's right, funny comedian here, tearing up the Chicago comedy scene. And next to her, I've got Brian Morton, a non-comedian, which I'm very excited about.
First time?
No, I've had Cole Cabana, who does some comedy stuff, but really isn't a comedian. He'll tell you that. He's pro wrestler's his main thing. I've had Amber James, who's on a couple seasons of The Bachelor.
Sounds like a porn star's name.
Ooh.
Doesn't it, though?
Amber James.
Did she win?
Yeah.
She's very sexy. No, she didn't. The first time I think she got eliminated day one.
You can be on The Bachelor
Didn't
more
even
than
sniff a
once.
rose. She was on it twice, and then she was on Bachelor in Paradise, which is the show where they put everyone
Maybe
on a beach to fuck, I
isn't
think.
meant for anybody.
She signed a 3-season deal.
You know what? Normally I'd be like, she's a good friend, don't trash her. But she didn't retweet me when I wanted her to get more listeners for the podcast.
Isn't it funny that
And they're really
retweet could break a friendship up?
No, it can't. I'm joking. I love her. But
That's how our friendship is.
Right.
no, but I'm just saying, not that I have people on for that reason. I thought it'd be interesting because The Bachelor was going on at the time, and I wanted some non-comedians on. And I've drank with her before, so she could be fun. I think she was a little nervous first time listening to a podcast. I could talk about her because she's not listening to this one, so it's fine. But no, this is a good one. Brian works at the Laugh Factory. Sarah used to work at the Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
We are also recording and filming for the first time. I got to give a thanks to my guy Mike Crowley right there for filming.
He waves.
He waves, even though no one can see him. It's all good, bud. And Brian, this is how you know you're not a comedian, because you're the first to bring alcohol.
Really?
Actually, I take that back. Ed Towns provided Stellas, which was pretty cool.
There you go.
But most of the comedians, which I get, you guys are doing me a favor.
Was I supposed to bring something?
No, you're not at all. You're doing me a favor, so I should be providing the alcohol. But you would hit me up earlier today saying, hey, do you like tequila?
Yeah.
And I do like tequila. I like whiskey. I like the stuff that most people are like, ew,
Yeah.
Although whiskey's pretty popular.
No, but
You hate it, though?
As Sarah will tell you, I'm just a cunt. So
Me?
you'll tell because she bought me tequila for my birthday one time.
Yes.
But I specifically only like tequila, and I knew that it would be like a beer situation. So if I don't bring the tequila, then it would have been
I got him for his birthday, the first year I knew him, a bottle of tequila. And I don't know tequila. I just went to Walgreens. I got the medium priced one, not crazy, not cheap.
It's fair.
And I gave it to him, and he goes, "Oh my God, thanks so much. I'm not gonna drink this though." And I was like, "Why?" And he's like, "It's shit."
Yeah,
And
you're a
walked
tequila
away.
expert, though.
I
That's
don't-
still
you
true.
say
That's
thank
shitty. You say thank you.
You
Yes.
say thank you. You chug it in front of the person, and then that's the end of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you could have taken a good swig
could've
and
taken
then
No, I get it.
handed it off to
I
someone
was
else.
Mad at
I'm a
him.
dick.
I didn't talk to you for a long time after that.
Yeah.
I was really upset because I went.
First of all, it's amazing to get a gift from people.
Thank you.
You know,
It was a
You're not
$20
12.
bottle of tequila. Let's be honest.
I don't.
It's
I,
money to me.
I
it's
no
not.
friends give me gifts anymore. I remember the last gift
For
I got from a
gift?
friend.
For
I buy
gifted
you
gifts.
birthday gifts.
You buy me books every year.
That's right.
You know what I've done? I've tricked friends into giving me gifts where I say, hey, could you pick me up something? And then I don't pay them back. And to me, that's the gift. That's like the price for friendship.
Yeah.
And then you get whatever you want.
Totally. I had that when Megan Gailey was living with me. I would have her. She'd go to Target all the time because she's a white woman. And I went one time specifically because I remember I let my buddy borrow my copy of Moneyball when I was still living in Chicago. So I didn't have a copy in LA. And I said, hey, could you give me Moneyball on Blu-ray? I think it's on
How'd
set.
you survive?
I needed it because it was baseball season. And I don't know about you guys,
You were
but
going down to Oakland for the game. And
no, I need to watch baseball movies before baseball season. The same way I watch Christmas
That's
movies during
intense.
Christmas season. I'm nuts like that. You're a big UFC guy. Don't you ever want to watch some
there's no good UFC movies. What do you,
That
I'm
one
gonna watch
wasn't
Kevin
bad.
James and fucking
No, but there was. What was that one called? Beyond the Cage or some bullshit?
I don't know. That was not a great movie though. And
I'm
then
sure it wasn't.
Warrior was all right.
Warrior
but
was
that
all
wasn't,
right. A little unrealistic though,
Yeah.
the way they
you know,
had
not-
it.
There's no good MMA movies. It
Well, let's
doesn't
write one,
exist.
damn it.
Yeah,
Right now.
It's a rise. It's the sport that's still rising.
There's
Get
the
in
Conor,
early.
the Conor McGregor documentary is great.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
on Netflix.
On
That's-
Netflix? Dude,
yeah,
the
yeah.
soundtrack for that is dope.
Fantastic.
I sing that song in my head all the time.
Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to. I've been doing this thing where I do like 3 stupid ass questions. You know what I mean? Because I try to recreate the bar conversation. That's what this podcast is all about. You even when you were going to do it the first time said, "Oh, I'm not really drinking right now." I told you, "Oh, don't worry. You don't have to drink on this thing. Makes it a little more fun."
Right.
But I'm gonna have. There's a few people in mind I know. Cole Cabana doesn't drink. He still had a great time.
My
So anyway,
parents
I gotta
brought
put
me
that
to
out
a
there.
bar all the time when I was a kid, and I would sit there. They played music and shit, so I would be at a bar all the time, not drinking.
Well, that's what I love. I love the culture of the bar/pub atmosphere, whatever you want to call it. I think that's
See,
something about the lively
be in one
conversations.
and chill out and not
Got some police going by in the background there.
and not
Nice. It's real, people.
have a drink, right? Because it just seems pointless to be there for me. But I get what you're saying. but it's hard.
It's
for
like
me
your
to,
bit though, because the water or soda or whatever costed more than.
right. Like sometimes I'll do that, like just to fit in. I'll put like a soda in my hand, but the sodas are fucking expensive.
Don't
too.
people think you're pregnant then? Do you throw a lime in there to really deke them?
Ah.
No, because when my wife was pregnant, we were at a family wedding,
And you
and we
didn't
didn't
want
announce
anyone
it
to
'cause it's
know?
too early. You gotta, you don't announce
You
it for
made her
12
do a
weeks.
keg stand. You're like, you had.
I was like, babe, my family could smell a sober person. Okay, they're gonna sniff you out
That's
hard. So
hilarious.
let's
That's
do it right.
hilarious.
The kid will be okay. It's early enough, I feel like. So your nickname though, Sarah. I'll
Yeah.
get to the 3 questions later. I wanted to lead off with the one thing because we were talking about the Conor McGregor thing and the music, but I want to get back to that because that's a great documentary. Anyhow,
You guys could do that later.
I was
without me here.
I was looking up the social media for both of you. You're
Oh.
Sperry
Yeah.
because Sarah Perry Sperry.
Thank you.
Now let me ask you this: who gave you that nickname?
I got it a really long time ago. I think in high school. I knew so many Sarah. I don't like my name. I don't like my name because
Sarah Perry? Why?
I don't
Because
like
Katy
I don't
Perry?
like the name Sarah.
Why?
There's a million of them. I don't like.
My name's Joe.
Okay, can you ask me a question? I'm answering it.
No, you're right. You're
Sorry.
right.
this is-
You're right. I just get in my head. I'm like, that's a good name. I'm looking at it from a parent standpoint. Appreciate your
it's
fucking
not-
name.
No, my parents opened up a baby book and my dad goes, that one, and then they named me. That's what it was. He told me that to my face when I was like
So
8.
no family
That's
significance.
how my
No
parents adopted me.
significance, not
Same
really.
way.
I mean, she's
You were adopted?
No.
Oh, motherfucker. I was going to be like, this is going to be a fun one.
She's like Abraham's wife in the Bible or something, but they didn't
That's
name me
true.
after. And it means princess in Hebrew, but like none of that. It was not. It was just a baby book name. So like, I went to high school with like 8 different other blonde, slutty Sarahs. So like, I hated the name in high school, and then I think
Is that why you dyed your hair? What color would you say
it's
your hair
silver.
is? Silver. All right, thanks.
And
I'm
I
curious.
get like 8 compliments a day.
No, I
So-
like it. You're
yeah.
giving me a look like I'm about to trash it. I'm not. I like it a lot.
You watch yourself.
I'm not.
Even
No,
if you didn't
I'm
trash
into
I'm
it.
not gonna change it. I'm obsessed with it.
Of
But
course, no. It's a
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I like the look. I wasn't
Thank you.
trashing it.
But yes, I think my first job in college, wherever I am. Oh no, it might have been in high school because there were multiple Sarahs on my lacrosse team, so somebody had to have a nickname. I wish I knew who started it, but then everybody at school and college and every job that I've ever had, there's always another Sarah or like somewhere. So they're like, who goes by something else? And then all my comedy friends, because I have one good friend named Sarah now, and then a couple other ones named Sarah, and like
Sarah Baller.
Sarah Baller.
Maybe the best name ever. I feel like
That's not her last name.
it's not.
It's Waller.
Okay, well I didn't know that. Now I feel like a dick.
Yeah.
Really? Was-
No, but she
this
goes
is-
by
she goes by Baller. So I thought
Baller.
Baller was her name.
No.
All right.
So like, there's so
I
many
take it
Sarahs
back.
going around.
Sarah
so
Waller's
I don't
not
even. Sometimes I don't even. He's the only one that calls me that. He doesn't. Him and Curtis
No,
don't
other
call me
people refer to you
Sperry.
as Sperry.
No, Sarah.
Oh, you two. Oh, I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask. I didn't really care who gave you the nickname. I was more.
I thought that was the question.
I just wanted to. I just meant like, where did it derive from? How did it start? I just wanted to get to the point where I was hoping you didn't give it to yourself.
No. It
Because
was.
is there anything, Brian? Is there anything sadder than someone who gives themselves a nickname?
Well,
I
if
know
they
people
if
that
they
have done
stick, that's crazy.
Well,
Like
let
if you
me-
could give yourself a nickname and it works, like that's fucking weird.
Although Deion Sanders did call himself Prime Time.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. But I was really, I had a flashback. I was telling someone about this story because there's a bar in Chicago called Hidden Shamrock. And I'm not going to name the person because he runs in a circle or two that I might come across. But anyway, the bar Hidden Shamrock, there's some comedians were telling me that there's running a show there again now. I guess there used to be shows there before. I knew that bar from when I was like 18, 19 years old. I think I was like 19 when I first went in there actually. And it was in their basement, they had like Rounders style poker
I
games.
didn't even know there
that's
was
awesome.
a basement.
Oh, of course there's a basement.
The
There's always a
basement in every
basement.
bar.
Yeah. And
You just gotta know about it.
Yeah.
well, where do you think a lot of the taps come up from? When you do draft beer.
Underground.
Well, they're not tapping into some sewer line that the city magically
I don't
did.
know. Some of
No,
them
I
are,
don't.
you know.
What do you just do? Coke in the bathroom like a civilized person?
Yeah. What else? Isn't that what you do? I don't know.
They have
but
basements and they're usually like dungeons, like concrete.
do you
and-
know people that have given nicknames to themselves?
Well, that's what I was getting at. This guy, I never knew how he got his nickname, but everyone called him that. Let's, for the sake of argument, I got to change it because people I know, I still have friends who listen to this who know who I'm talking about. We'll call him
Just rhyme it.
Greek Eddie.
That's the nick.
That's not the nickname.
That's not the name.
He
That's
sounds like a
different-
hell of a poker player.
Right? Greek Eddie?
Greek Eddie is awesome.
So when we went in there, because I brought him into it because I knew one guy who told me about the game. Because I was playing a lot of poker my first 2 years of college before I like dropped out. Like I was playing like 5-6 nights a week. It was fun.
Yeah. Well, it was on ESPN then. Like
it was really
super fucking
popular at the time.
Yeah.
And
Were
there
you
was
good
a
at
way.
it?
I was actually pretty good. Yes. I never got into I never really played at the casino level because I was underage. I was making enough money. I was making the equivalent of your typical college part-time job at the time.
Nice.
You know, so yeah, like $400 or $500 a week.
That.
I should have. I'd probably making the same as the comedian. Anyhow, though, I introduced him as Eddie. This is Eddie. This is Eddie. And then remember 10 minutes later, because there was multiple tables going on, we were at a different table because this was actually for a tournament, which I didn't like tournament. I like cash games because you could just win big pots and take off if you need to, which people love. And all of a sudden, I heard people calling him, "Hey, Greek Eddie, Greek Eddie, yeah, Greek Eddie." And I'm like, "How did this happen?" And I pulled one guy aside. I go, "Real quickly, why are you guys calling him Greek Eddie?" He goes, "Oh, he told us to call him Greek Eddie." And I'm like, "What a fucking loser." You let nicknames are supposed to be organic and natural. I get it. Like, nicknames are cool. I'm a nickname guy. I give people nicknames if the mood strikes me.
I like bad nicknames.
Bad nicknames are even more fun. I agree.
Like, those are the ones that last.
Nicknames that don't you have to really find out the story.
Yeah.
There was a comic who I can't name, who I guess his nickname was Dirt, and another comic we know opened for him. Danny Callis opened for him.
Dirt. Or Dirk.
Dirt, like you're dirty.
Like, okay.
And it was in his hometown at this club, and on the road, and his old
Tim
college
McLaughlin.
buddies. No, it's not Tim. Although it's a good guess. It's a good guess. So
Just call him up and give him that.
all of his old buddies were calling him Dirt, and he's like, "Dirt, I've never heard this nickname before." And he's like, don't even worry about it." Like, he didn't want him to find out, and they called him Dirt because I guess he fucked literally anything. So
That's great.
You know what I mean? So there's some good stories behind
That's-
certain
okay.
nicknames. I mean, yeah, that's kind of a standard guy being
Sarah
assholes
just
to each other.
changed her name to Dirt.
They're slut shaming is what they're doing. I was called Joe Dirt because Joe Dirt came out, and that was.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of stupid nicknames.
What's the
Brian, have you
worst?
already? I'll get to mine. I want to get to you real quick though, because we know Sperry over here.
Nickname like
Mine's great.
But you don't introduce
Mine are-
yourself as Sperry, right? You say,
like,
"Hi, I'm
if I meet
Sarah."
a stranger?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Okay.
But
I know you
do-
go by it online. That's
I
different.
do prefer it. I don't know why. I just
It's fun. I'll give you that. It's a fun nickname.
every once in a while, if my friend calls me, like if somebody close to me calls me by, it just sounds weird coming out of their mouth, saying Sarah.
I hate-
Besides you, because you never called me Sperry, because he doesn't want me to have anything to myself. But why have you? You and
All the
Curtis,
suggestions.
neither of you.
because it's weird. I don't know. I
Why
call
is
you
it
your
weird?
name.
He's your
I call
boss.
I call
Who's your
everybody
boss?
names.
Not anymore, but he was, and he kind of is our bosses when we do the club.
Man.
Brian is one of the gatekeepers here.
That's such a weird, like, somebody told, I went to a party one time. I was at Bobby Condon's for a party, and Tim Weisselbaum told me that I was the gatekeeper. And I was like,
Was he drunk?
I'm like, it's 3 a.m. I'm fucking drunk as shit with you right now, and I'm sitting on a couch. I'm not a gatekeeper.
Also,
Like,
that's not the way to get into the gate. You know
no,
what I
but
mean?
I
That's
don't
not
even
the way to
care
open the
about that.
door.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like a weird thing. I'm not a gatekeeper for anything. Like, the only thing I do is try to help people. Like,
No, you do. That's why, and I'm going to get to that in a little bit, which is why I've wanted you on the podcast for numerous reasons.
I wouldn't be doing stand up if it wasn't.
Yeah,
for that.
he's great, and so is Curtis. But Sperry, though, I was going to say, I don't blame you for going by it on your Twitter handle, on your Instagram.
Yeah.
It's a fun nickname,
Yeah.
and it fits your, I hate to say brand, everything brand, it's so bullshit. It's phony, It's like
I love it.
very LA, but it does
Yeah.
fit you.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
really smart to like put it as all your social media handles, right? Like, so.
Okay, he gave me that advice.
I mean, it's just,
Well, no, you have to be consistent, because there are
Yeah,
some people you
right?
see where they'll be like, Sarah Perry 1, and then on this,
Well,
they're
that's
Sperry
how mine
Comedy,
used
and then
to
they're
be,
like, no, you got to
because-
streamline it.
Yeah, I know, man.
You got to be consistent. That way people can look you up on all things like that. Cool people don't know how to read signs on doors, you piece of shit. I love you. I'm just kidding. I love you.
I love you, but read.
We're recording
I
at the
just
Laugh
gave
Factory
him-
studio.
I gave him
Someone
a
walked
nickname
in.
today, though.
What's his nickname today? Doesn't read signs?
He left.
Illiterate?
Now I can't even fucking remember it. It was so bad.
We gotta sign
My
at the door.
nickname in high school, it was dumb as fuck. But my friend
I
Justin,
thought you meant like
my friend,
literally.
my friend, yeah, that's my
Yo,
nickname.
dumb as
Dumb
fuck.
as
Get
fuck.
over here.
My friend Justin called me Power, just because like
Power.
I grew up with all Italians, so everybody's a little shorter, and I'm
Because you're
6.
Jersey, right?
I'm 6. I'm upstate
Power
New York,
bottom?
Upstate
but-
New York, sorry.
Yeah,
I keep thinking Jersey, East Coast.
but yeah, Power Bottom. That's where it came from. Yes.
That'd be a cool nickname, too.
Yeah, Power.
Like, if you didn't know the context, like for grade
He's just
school
is
kids.
great at squats. This
Yo,
guy,
Power Bottom.
killer squats.
Yeah, man, look at them calves.
Best catcher.
I
Yeah,
was
he could
thinking
thrust.
sex. Was I the only one thinking sex?
That was yeah.
Oh,
We-
By the way, no guy is going to tell his sexual nickname. I don't know.
do you have a sexual
Oh, I have
nickname?
I have a good story for that
No.
too. Can I? Ooh, I don't know.
Dude,
it's a
no,
weird
of
one.
course.
Um,
Dude, that's weird to be like, can I tell a good story
No,
on
I
your
can't.
podcast? Yeah,
'cause
motherfucker.
it's like fucking bragging. It's weird. I sent a dick pic to a girl one time, and this was like 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
Dick pics were a thing 12 years ago?
Yeah. It was in the mail.
You like flipped open your phone?
Yeah. It was right after basic training. I was in tech school and I sent a picture of my dick. And anyway, this girl told everybody about my dick, and they all started calling it the General. And everybody would walk by me.
You told me this story.
Because it was standing at attention.
They would salute my dick. Like if you don't know this, it's really bad to salute. Like if you're not an officer, and it's
because you were in the military.
Yeah, especially when you're brand new in. If you're fucking around and saluting, like you can get in trouble. Like people will fuck with you and like you get written up or whatever. And I'm not joking, like 25, 30 people would walk around and like salute my penis. It was the weirdest fucking thing ever. And it just...
But you're smiling as you're telling the story.
Because it was like...
No, it's awesome.
Thinking about it, like thinking back on it, like it's hilarious. But I was so fucking nervous all the time because they'd be walking down and people would just salute my dick.
The weirdest thing is I had a friend tell me that a woman told him that she's like, you have a great penis. It's always weird when you hear penis. Called a dick. That's what it is.
She was a doctor.
It's a dick. Yeah.
That is a great looking penis.
She said it was top 2. And then right when I heard that, I'm like, that means it's number 2. You know that, right? Why would anyone say top 2? She said you have a great dick. Penis.
Top 2.
It's top 2. Like she's saying it's top 2.
Out of 2. Yeah.
So that clearly means it's number 2.
Yeah.
That's.
As a guy, you'd rather hear top 5. Because then you're like, can I be number 2? Can I be number 3? I'm clearly not number 1. Otherwise, she said that. But top 2, you know for sure there's someone out there that she's had that's like, that dude's better.
Yeah.
So you clearly would rather.
But like as grown men, don't you guys already know like where your dick stands?
Oh, yeah.
You know, like
I read the size chart once a year to see. Like,
why do you think I'm so confident for a redhead? You know what I mean?
I was wondering why you were.
People are like, he's got stage presence. I'm like,
Power. That was the only nickname in high school.
Oh, man. I had
dumb.
so many nicknames throughout I was, the first nickname I could ever remember, this was grade school football. Now, I grew up in Chicago public grade school. We would play football before school. We'd get like a good 15 to 20-minute game, and they was like intense and serious. And here's an ego thing. I used to show up a little bit late. Teams were already set, and when I'd show up late, people would fight over who got me. And I would do it on purpose. I literally lived the closest to the school. I lived my first 10 years of my life. I lived around the block from the school.
The psychology of that is fucking ridiculous.
From 5th grade to 8th grade, I was on the same street but a block up. I was everyone was like, "You live the closest. You should be first here, putting the cones out." And I'm like, I got breakfast, man. My dad was always like, I got breakfast in the morning. I would purposely get there late just for the ego boost. And that makes sense why I became a comedian, right?
I was going to say that.
I was the opposite. I'd get there early and still nobody would pick me. It would be like one of those things.
Well, here's the thing. I peaked in grade school. I was a great grade school athlete, and then everyone's height caught up to me. Like the height I am now, I was in 8th grade, basically.
Oh, really?
So I was like a freak. But the thing is, you're stupid as a boy. All my friends were like, dude, you're 6 foot at 14. You're gonna be 7'5" when you're 30. Like they don't understand that. Oh, I got a few more years of this.
Right.
My dad's 6'4", so I probably won't top out that. Anyway.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'1".
Okay.
And I have bad posture though. No, you know what I am? I have decent posture. I am tall from the waist up. I have short legs.
The second best posture in Chicago comedy, Joe Losanto.
Yes. That's true. I've got good posture.
Zach
Ryan for sure, probably. That dude is just. Some people, they say their height, and you're like, nah, you're taller than that, man.
Yeah.
I think he's one of them.
He's 6'5".
Him and Alex, they're both tall. He's a basketball player.
When we went and he met the agent.
You went with him?
Yeah.
Look at you, man. You managing him?
No, but she was like, "You're too tall." The guy that she was with, is like, "You're too tall." Like, unless you're a leading man, I don't know. Like, I don't think there's anybody 6'5" in Hollywood. And he goes, "Who's the #1 actor in the world?" And they're like, "The Rock." And then he pulls up on Wikipedia 6'5".
He's 6'3".
Yeah, it was hilarious.
He's not 6'5", The Rock.
No, he is.
Look though, here's how I know he's not. Conan says on air he's 6'4". Him and The Rock did a thing together, and Conan's clearly taller than him.
Really?
And Goldberg, who was a professional football player,
Yeah.
was listed at 6'5" by the NFL. And when him and The Rock went face to face, he was a good 2.5 inches tall.
Really?
But he's not wrong. And I think Zach O'Ryan would most likely go out for people listening. Zach O'Ryan's a comedian in Chicago, pretty new still, right?
Yeah.
A few years in, dude's big. He's 6'5", and he's a fitness guy too, right?
Yeah.
He seems like I've heard nothing but good things about him. I don't really know him personally. I met him a handful of times. Like, hey, what's up? How are you? But he's signed with the same agency I'm with in Chicago. It's weird though. Like, they send me out for dramatic stuff. I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Could do dramatic.
He would do. I could see him being like a construction worker type guy.
Yeah.
Which they sent me out for that. There's a lottery commercial with construction workers right now. I still see it on air, and every time I see it, I go, ugh. because I shouldn't have been sent out for it. But no, I get it. I love my agency. They're the best, so I'm not knocking them.
Can I ask you, like, do you talk about money ever, or do you not like?
No, I usually I'm at the point where I'm just like, oh yay, thank you, and then
I was wondering, like, what's the most you've ever made from a commercial?
Me?
Will you talk about that or no?
I've only done 2, and I don't know what the other one is because we just filmed it last week.
Oh, okay.
I didn't ask because it was for the Cubs.
Oh, wow.
So there you go. I just busted
dope.
that news out, everyone. I just filmed the commercial
huge.
for the Cubs. Yeah, I posted a picture of myself on the like on the warning track at Wrigley last week on Instagram, and a few people were like, "Man, you're always going to Cubs stuff, huh?" And I didn't want to be like, "Oh, I filmed this commercial with why am I blanking? It was Ike Barinholtz.
Oh, that's awesome.
He was on Mad TV, he was in
Yeah,
Neighbors
I
and
know, I
The
guess,
Blockers.
yeah.
There's been a few movies.
Yes.
Yeah. So me and him have a scene together.
That's
Just
so
one
cool.
line.
From the Mini Project?
Yeah, in the Mini Project. Yeah, he's
I
on. Yeah,
love
it's a big part of that
him.
show. Yeah, really
That's
nice
so
dude.
cool, dude.
I didn't really get to
Congrats.
talk too much
Oh
because
my
it was a quick
God.
shoot. People were bouncing around. Anyhow, though, so I don't know what I'm getting paid from that yet, but I'm union, so it's usually pretty good. But I was in a Blackhawks commercial, but it was web only, like a 30-second spot you'd see on Facebook. Unfortunately, I got cut from that, and I had a bad feeling I was going to get cut because it felt too long for 30 seconds of the shooting, and I was in the last part, me and 3 other people. So they had this main dude who's on that show, The Shy now. I see him in a few episodes. He's like leaving work. He goes home. He gets his Blackhawks sweater on. He's doing this. Oh, shit, forgot to feed the dog. Had to run back. So he's like trying to hustle to get there for game time. It's kind of a stupid commercial because it makes me think maybe start the games at 8 o'clock instead of 7:30 because clearly your fans are barely getting in there on time.
Right.
The city has traffic. What are you doing? Like, I remember even joking about that with someone like on set. Like they were kind of laughing with me. Like, you know, one of the camera guys, not someone who's going to be like, well, I wrote this, you know. You got to be careful. People are sensitive on sets, man.
Of course.
Anyway, though, it was long enough, so he gets there, and we're like his friends that he meets. So I remember thinking, like, this would be the part you cut.
Right.
Luckily, the scene with Ike, I'd be shocked because it's like the button for the whole thing. Anyway, I'll keep you up to date. If I don't see this thing air within the next week or two, I'm going to be like, oh, man. You get paid regardless, though.
Yeah, of course.
So I've only done those 2 commercials, and
those are both local, technically?
technically, yeah.
Yeah. Do they reach out
The
to
one
other
Wendy's thing I
states?
did for college football was like $600 because I didn't have any lines.
Okay.
I was just like a featured extra, they call it. But
Right.
the 2 I mentioned, I was principal.
And you've
It's principal
acted in
means you do
TV shows? And
Yeah, I acted on Chicago Med.
Okay.
Your nipples showed.
Yeah, I have terrible nipples. Cole Cabana and I talked about this. I don't like my nips. They're good when they're hard. So I try to keep them hard.
Are they innies?
No, they're not
Oh.
any. It's just a little puffy.
Okay.
So, you know.
Is that like a higher estrogen? Is that what makes them puffy?
I don't know, man. I haven't
Yeah.
checked my levels or anything. You call me. It feels like you're insulting me right now. Throwing that.
My
Too much
love.
salt
The
in your
E word
diet?
on
I
me.
don't know about.
I don't know. I just
puffy
have
nips.
weird looking nips. They're not like weird. They're just most people are like, dude, they're pink nips. We get it. Like they're not as I've seen way worse.
Yeah.
You know. Before. So all right. Anyway, my nickname I was going to tell you about after talking about my stupid ego boost there.
Greek Eddie.
Well, Greek Eddie, I'll wrap that up in a second. But my first nickname was Booger Nose, which was a real dumb Chicago kid nickname in a weird way. So I was talking about playing football in grade school. I sneezed on the ball. And like I was playing defense. I went to hand the ball back, and I kind of sneezed on purpose because they were pissing me off, the other team. And the one dude says, Mikey Pancala called me. Great
Fucking
Chicago
Mikey
name.
Pancala.
Great
bro.
Chicago name,
If I had
right?
$1 for every.
Fucking Mikey
What do you
Pancala.
think he's doing now?
Last time I saw Mikey Pancala, we were in a softball league together about 5 years ago in Chicago. And I came up to bat in extra innings. And I had tied the game with Senate to extra innings. I came up in extras, and he said, Joey K, because he called me that too, going to win the game. And I go, I win the game right here. I'm going to kiss you on the lips when I come back around. And I hit a double. The winning run scored was fine, but I touched second and then came running in, and I gave him a kiss on the cheek. Because you don't kiss Mikey Pancala on the lips. I
No?
feel like some shit would have gone
Been
down.
around?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. But he said, oh, we got booger nose over here. And I go, what? And he goes, you got boogers on the ball. I go, no, I got snot on the ball. I sneezed. It's snot. He goes, snot and boogers, same thing. And we had like a Seinfeld conversation where people almost had to separate us because they're like, no one gives a shit. It's third down. And I'm like, I give a shit. It's snot. There's a difference. Someone who puts boogers on the ball, that's like you're taking it out of your nose and you're placing it on the ball.
Yeah.
That's different.
Third
They're
down. I thought you
green.
were playing basketball.
No, football.
Oh.
I didn't say basketball. Did I say basketball?
I thought you did.
I think you just said ball.
Ball. So I'm
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
ball. Yeah.
I just can't see you playing football, maybe.
I played football in high school. I actually was named a starter and then broke my leg 6 days before opening game against Lane Tech, which was a big Catholic public league rival. I went to a public grade school, then a Catholic high school. So I had friends on the public school teams because.
So you skipped the molestation.
I did, luckily. Yeah, because I was too old at that point. I wasn't sexy enough. Nobody wants to blow a teenager with red pubes, right?
With big titties. That's
like McMahon's joke. I was raised Catholic but molested Lutheran.
Oh man, he's the best. I hit him on the first podcast, which you guys go back and listen to, episode 1. Whenever you guys listen to these podcasts, think, oh, I could go back and listen to previous episodes. They're evergreen. They last forever. I'm not like talking about current events and stuff. So we got Sperry, we got Power, Booger Nose. I've also been Joey K, Special K.
I like Special K.
Special K stuck for a while. I got caught peeing in Lincoln Park, like in one of the alleys there right off Lincoln and Fullerton, behind that McDonald's there in Fullerton.
And then they called you the general?
No, they did not. But I was pissing, and this narc car pulled up, undercover cops. And the cop came out, and I literally just like, I'm not going to stop now. I'm going to get a ticket, whatever. And I literally put a hand up going, give me a second, which is like a stupid move. But I had a couple drinks in me underage, too, which is really dumb. But the cop started to like write out the ticket. And the officer said, do you have any aliases or nicknames? Because that's part of what they go when they,
What?
And
Tater salad?
Yeah, they do. They really, if you get like a ticket for something like that or anything, like they will ask you, do you have any AKAs, any aliases, any nicknames?
Oh, like
to put in their system to see if you're already known for that.
Oh my god!
So I gave them my actual name, right? Then my buddy, you're mixing these drinks. By the way, I like mine. It's a spicy margarita he made me. So we're doing it different at Kilgallon's Pub this week. I am very much enjoying it. So thank you. So for my nickname at the time, like I said, was Special K. My one buddy was a fucking idiot. When the officer asked this, I wasn't going to say my nickname Special K. That's a stupid thing to say to a Chicago cop. I was going to say nothing, and then my friend yelled out, Special K?
Was it
and
Mikey?
I looked at him like he did. It was not Mikey Pincala. We didn't go to the same high school. But the officer goes, Special K, why do they call you that? Because that's a drug. And at the time, this was 2000.
Wait, am I dumb?
Yeah,
you know how old are you, Sarah?
I thought we
Don't
were
mind me asking.
talking about cereal.
Well, it's that too.
Cereal.
Cereal.
I just turned
Thanks,
24.
Mom. So you're so young, right?
But I'm older than I
You gotta
used to be.
break.
She's
I
also
feel like
like
you're older
a-
than your age.
She's
or
also
you
like a
act older.
St. Louis suburbs 24. Like,
Ooh.
so
What does that mean?
I can't knock St.
Now,
Louis. I have St.
what
Louis
do you
listeners.
mean
I like
by
St. Louis.
that? No, wait. What do you mean by that? What does that mean?
I was in St. Louis in April for a week doing shows. I had a good time.
Yeah, but in the city. So like
I was actually in Westport, which is like the bordering suburb.
Hell yeah.
I was at the Funny Bone there.
I
I
mean,
headlined that for a week. So
yeah.
people who listen from that, which I see you and I appreciate you. So thank you very
I want
much.
to do that club. That sounds.
I'll talk to him because you
Okay.
definitely are worthy. That's for
Cool.
damn sure. So you're young. You're too young to know this, but this is. I was underage. I think I was 20. So this has been 2005. I want to say, and Special K was a drug.
I was.
It
it
was.
still is a
You'd
drug.
heard of it.
It's,
It still
it's
is a
called
drug.
ketamine. It's a
Isn't it
horse.
like a-
it's a
I
horse
know
horse.
what
tranquilizer.
ketamine
It's
is.
It's a horse tranquilizer.
So it's just a.
So ketamine starts with a K. They call it Special K. Was the nickname.
Okay.
So that's how that became
Cool.
about. So you don't want a cop thinking, why they call you Special K? What do you deal it? Are you a dealer? Like
You should have just been like, I own a breakfast
no,
place.
you know what I said? I could have. I should have said the obvious,
Right.
which is my last name starts with a K, which is why I got the nickname. But then I threw this out there, which really. Somewhat true, but
That's
not
part
really.
of the KKK.
Yeah, which was also believable if you see how white I am. If they saw my nips, they'd be like, "Oh, this guy's definitely racist." Those are racist nips for sure. He's got racist nipples. This kid.
Can I call you racist nipples? Can
Don't
that be
do
your
that.
Okay.
I don't want that to be my new
That's your
nickname.
new
We have too
I'll do
many.
it in the middle of the
Racist
street, too.
nipples.
Come on,
Your
we have
racist nips.
too many black friends at this club. They'd be calling me that. So
It's not him,
I
it's
told
his
the
nipples.
I told the police officer, I was a pitcher in high school, which I did have this nickname briefly, but I didn't pitch like at the varsity level because I just probably wasn't good enough.
Greek
if I'm
Eddie
being
was
honest,
pitching
but,
then.
yeah, Greek Eddie could throw a six slider. I was good enough. I had some shit coaches, which is another podcast I can get into. Anyway, though, but I was nicknamed Special K because of pitching as well as because of my last name. So I told him, I pitched in high school, and I knew the officer would ask which high school. Now my high school is on the northwest side of Chicago, and a lot of alumni were cops. So I was rolling the dice, and I said St. Pat's, and he looked at me and ripped the ticket up, and then him and his buddy walked into the car and drove off. Didn't even say he just looked at me, shook his head, ripped the ticket, and then left.
Why?
Because he went there,
Yeah.
and that's Chicago.
It's pride.
Yes. Brian, if you ever get pulled over, be like, I went to St. Pat's.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
good chance.
I show my
Or if you're on
military
the south
ID.
side, say Brother Rice or St. Rita. So many cops went to Catholic high schools in Chicago. St. Pat's especially. I can name 15 guys at least, if not more, that I graduated with that I know are for fact are Chicago cops now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Totally. So
Nice. I'll call you.
Those
if I
were the
have
other
any
nicknames.
issues.
I show my military ID. You
Well,
get
military
you
ID,
get out
yeah,
of
that's gotta
everything,
get you.
anywhere.
And Sarah, you're not to
You just have
sound
to
sexist.
cry.
You're an attractive woman, so that's got to
I
work.
have gotten pulled over 3 times and I have 0 tickets. So,
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
See?
Did you have your face on?
I had my face on.
Yeah, it was really funny. Right
and
before
my
we were gonna,
tears strolling down.
Mike, I don't know if you know this, but Mike Crowley, our director here, right before we were about to film, right you and I walked in together, and I was like, "Oh, we're filming, by the way," and you're like, "What? You didn't
And
tell
I had
me?"
a feeling you were gonna say that too. I don't know why, but I just got out of the shower and I'm wearing what I'm wearing.
Northwestern.
Yeah.
Did you play lacrosse at Northwestern?
No, but I went to a camp.
Oh, okay, because you mentioned lacrosse earlier.
I was
so
4 years varsity lacrosse, baby. I could have gone to college for it, but then I was like, wanted to do comedy. But yeah.
Did you graduate college?
Yes.
Where'd you go?
Columbia.
Columbia. The one in Chicago or New York?
New Jersey. No, Chicago.
Oh, Chicago? Cool. I used to joke because there's so many comedians who went to Columbia. I just basically called it's a junior college with fancy computers.
It's not. The
I
one
know
here?
it's not. Yes, the one here. The one in New York is amazing.
Shut up,
obviously.
Mike. Stop laughing at that. No.
No, it's nothing wrong with it. I
not.
wanted to go there, but my parents were like, it's very expensive, so you're going to take out a lot of loans. Why don't you go to a junior college for a couple years, then you could go there? Because I wanted to go into like broadcasting or something
That's
like
smart.
that.
Yeah, it's great for that.
I didn't
It's
even
great
hear
school
about
for
it
that.
until I started working here. Like,
It's not nationally known,
Yeah.
but locally it does great. A lot of people work local radio. You know, I've got friends who work at the Score Sports Radio in Chicago, and they've got a lot of background
It is
in
expensive,
Columbia.
but you're very hands-on. You have the access to all this equipment, like all these cameras and photography, like everything that you need for your major. It's all there. So I get why it's expensive, but like, you know, it was okay.
yeah.
I had a teacher in high school who used to teach a bar management class there.
Nice.
And I thought, oh, that'd be really cool. Because I still want to own a bar one day. Kilgallon's Pub might become like a real thing.
That'd be so dope.
You know what my hook would be? Instead of serving pitchers of beer, I serve gallons. And I do a whole thing where it's like, try the Kilgallon gallon.
I hated that. I don't like that.
You don't like that? I don't know. I thought it was kind of fun. It's a hook.
I do.
You like
Like,
it?
it
I
would-
just didn't like.
It would work for
you
a certain
saying that.
crowd.
I'm just
It
kidding.
would definitely work for a younger
It's
I
not
crowd.
just pictured you like with like a little like hat, like.
Try the Kilgallon gallon? Like you're doing a fucking
like,
bullshit Irish accent?
like,
Hi, chi.
in a-
Have you ever worked in a bar?
Yeah, I was an assistant manager at a bar
Yeah, so you got
when I
experience.
was 23. I was very young when I got that job. And you know why I became bad at it, which led to me getting fired, essentially, which I was okay with. I actually
Alcohol.
kind of pushed it. No, comedy.
Mm.
I saw my comedy. It hurt my comedy.
That,
And I realized I'm like, I don't want to be a bar manager the rest of my life. I want to be
That's
a
why I
comedian.
quit here. That's why I quit serving here.
So focus more on comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you
There you
can't work the shows and also be.
You know, in LA at the Comedy Store, a lot of people try to do both, but eventually when they get good enough, they stop.
Yeah.
Carmen
parking
Morales
cars.
just got a job at the Comedy Store.
Yeah, I saw that. I like Carmen. She's
Yeah,
cool.
she's
She
cool.
did photography for me, like my son's first picture she took.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she's cool. I like her.
I-
Now,
yeah,
I want to talk about, since we're going back to comedy, now we're off the nicknames kick. Although, hey, anyone listening, you got a cool nickname story, send it at me. I love a good nickname story.
I feel really
Oh,
weird
I didn't
that
finish
told my nickname story.
the Eddie Greek. What did I call him before?
Greek
I
Eddie.
totally forgot. 'cause
Greek
it's
Eddie.
bullshit.
Yeah, Greek Eddie.
He was a dude that people were starting to get weary of because they're like, we think he cheats at cards. Like my friends in home games were telling me. So when I brought him to this game,
Your accent really came out there.
Did
that
it?
was really creepy.
My Chicago accent?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never heard it like that.
Creepy?
It was just really like.
was just different than the way I normally
thinks
sound?
he cheats at cats. I can't even do it. It was really.
you maybe sound Boston. I'm not Goodwill Hunting
I'm
over
really
here.
bad at accents. Mike.
Clearly. You keep yelling at Mike off camera.
He's going
there.
to wave again.
I don't even have a mic. No one can hear me.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, and we all pause for dead air. So Mike can take a listen.
It's good to talk off mic.
good
That's
radio.
the best part.
So it gets down to the final table, and he's one of the 6. I got knocked out. Bad beat, I'm telling you. But it doesn't matter. I was standing around. Everyone's standing around watching. I must have itched my arm or did something. And only because they were already suspicious of him, this guy thought I gave him a signal. I did not. Right? I would never do that. And so this guy says, he goes, yo, I don't appreciate you helping him cheat. And I go, wait, what? And he goes, yeah, I don't appreciate what the fuck you two are doing. And I go, I have no idea what you're talking about. Trust me, no one's cheating here. You know, I'm underage. These guys were all in their like probably late 20s, early 30s, and I'm 19 or 20.
How do you get in
Yeah.
there? Fake ID?
Friend of a friend.
Oh, okay.
And I had a
It's,
fake
fake,
ID.
it's not a
I had a fake
bar.
ID.
Oh, well, I guess
Well, it's the
you're going
basement bar. I had to enter through the
downstairs.
bar and then go
Yeah.
down. So I did have a fake ID, so that's why. Anyhow, so as this guy who's in the game still, he's yelling at me. His buddy grabs a pool cue to like hit me with it. Luckily, someone stepped in front because I didn't see the dude. But you don't know me as well, sir. But Brian, you know me enough where I put my Guinness down and said, we're gonna fucking do this. Let's
Yeah.
fucking go. Put the pool cue down, you little bitch. Started getting tougher back because that's how I respond to aggression. And then a couple dudes try to like pull me like away because I was really going back at them. They dragged me back upstairs. Let's do a drink and a shot. Then the guy who pulled the pool cue out comes upstairs and said, dude, let me buy you some drinks, dude. I feel bad. They told me that you're fucking cool and that you guys were playing separate tables. It's this other dude. Needless to say, you're welcome back. I feel bad, man. but I don't handle cheating well. I'm like, neither do I, man. He goes, but your buddy's not welcome back. You tell that
Irish
Greek
Joe,
motherfucker.
okay. Greek Eddie's fucked.
Yeah. And then I remember when we were walking out, I go, why the fuck do you feel the need to cheat? Me and him almost fought on the street there at Halstead University.
So when you play
And my
poker,
other friends wanted to fight him because they heard about it. I have some loyal fucking friends. I got a scar underneath my lip. I got elbowed in a game of basketball at an export. And right when I got elbowed, the guy like went running up the court. Didn't even say my bad. Sarah, you know this. You played sports.
Yeah,
if
I
someone
did.
does an accidental hit you,
Yes.
you say my bad.
Yeah.
Right? Especially an elbow that was an accident because we were both going for the same rebound. Who's on the other team, of course. Didn't say my bad. So as he's running up the court, I grab my mouth right away, and then I say, where the fuck's my bad? I think I like yelled that, and blood shot out of my mouth in a gross ass way. And so then I go run into the bathroom because I'm bleeding all over the place. And then I dabbed enough where I'm like, I gotta get stitches because I can see it's a hole like my smile's slightly crooked because of it. Who knows? I could have
It's
been.
character.
Anyhow,
Joe, my favorite thing about you is how you hang on to stuff. It's so good, dude. Like,
I really do, man.
I can tell you're genuinely you feel something from something that happened forever ago.
Because I put myself back in that situation. I was annoyed. That guy, if he would have said my bad, none of the following events would have occurred. That's how I view it. I go, it's a butterfly effect situation. If you would have done what you were supposed to do as a human being, acting in a civilized society, A plus B plus C wouldn't have happened. So then I realized, all right, I got to get stitches. I leave. My buddy drove, so I'm going to have to tell him, hey, we got to go take me to the hospital. As I come out, security's escorting my friends out.
Oh, shit.
I said, what the fuck? And my buddy goes, what the fuck happened there to the dude? And he goes, I don't know, man, basketball, baby. And he goes, no. And then a brawl started on the court.
Oh, fuck.
That's the type of dudes I grew up with, man. So
yeah,
I
I grew up with similar people like that.
nice.
I gave a girl 10 stitches in her forehead once at a field hockey game.
She didn't say
Oh,
my
I was
bad.
hoping like headbutted a bar.
No. And like when I tell people, I try to act like such a badass, but after it happened, I cried so hard because I felt so terrible. Like you've seen field hockey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the sport
have
well,
an
but I've seen it.
I have an open net, so I choke up on the stick and I swing it as hard as I can, and it's not wood. It's like
It's almost like a
made of.
fiberglass
It's
type
like yeah,
thing.
that's what it is. And I go, I feel my stick hit her head, and she just looks at me, and I'm looking at her, and just blood's trickling down her head, and she falls to the ground, and like I thought,
And
I
she has
thought I killed her.
CTE now.
Like I
and
thought
she's
I killed her.
she probably drowned
She
her
stabbed
children.
herself in the chest.
I was like defending her down here. I was just like, but yeah, I felt that's only but that was an accident.
That was an accident.
And I
look, the elbow was
apologize,
an
and
accident too, but you apologize. That's
yeah,
the thing.
I felt so terrible.
There's
like,
protocol.
Yeah.
If
She
it's
said
pick
my
up
bad.
basketball, you got to
Said
say my
And
bad.
then we kept
My bad is key. It's key. So you're a 24-year-old comedian. Brian, I think are a resourceful tool as a comedian. That sounds bad. But
I'm a tool for sure.
For sure.
Definitely
But for
a tool.
comedy. Now, I've seen you post things. You were doing a thing for a while where you're posting like almost motivational stuff for comedians. Like,
Yeah.
check out this interview, listen to this. You talked about Bert Kreischer's podcast where he talked about social media and the things comedians could do to circumvent the industry.
Yeah, there's a lot of good
There's a
information,
lot of
like-
great things to
yeah.
do, which I'm kind of looking to do now. Not that I have any kind of real like hatred toward the industry. I just think there's a laziness on their end, and there are a lot of great comics slipping through the cracks.
You guys have the fucking internet. The internet is the
exactly.
industry.
I see people. If you're smart enough, you could put out your own 5-minute clip, and it could get more views than anything.
Let's
on
brag
Conan
about
and
Sarah
anything.
for a second.
Yes,
Today she hit 5,000 followers on Instagram,
5,000. Damn, I better get a
5,000
repost because
followers
don't be
on
like my one
Instagram.
friend.
which is like
I'll
she
repost
went
you.
from
5,000. Damn.
from
It's 'cause I-
3.5 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, the Laugh Factory Hollywood posted a clip of hers.
2 clips.
But they posted the first one, and then they
And
posted
then
the
a
second
meme,
one.
and then another clip.
The meme, then the clip. No, anyway. So she had like 1,300 followers.
Yeah.
And then already, it's like today, almost less than a month later, she hit $5,000.
That's amazing.
And like you can see,
It's amazing how that happens.
you can see the activity too on her posts. Like she's getting 800 likes on a post, versus before it was like 200.
I have 200 DMs from strange men that I don't know that
Really?
are super fun to read if you
I
want to
bet.
read them. If you
I
want
would love
read
to.
them. Some are nice. Some are really nice. Like
Could you
you're-
look up one at some point to read before the podcast
I would
ends?
love
Like toward
to.
the end? Maybe
I
we'll
have
close it on a couple.
Some really good ones.
We can close on a couple of your
Yeah,
favorite.
yeah.
Oh, thank
I
you. That
will.
sounds fun. No, 5,000. I have 16 something, and I've only recently I've always been someone who posts every few days, but now I'm trying to be a little bit more active about it because it is. I do like creating content.
You got to feed them.
You got to feed you right, and
You also got to be careful not to annoy them.
you don't want to annoy. There's different.
Because I do go up and down. So like people will, maybe I'll post something that somebody doesn't like, and they don't give the.
You know what I heard? I talked about this guy when I did a solo podcast. He's actually, and this is what I want to talk to you about, Brian. I'm bouncing around a little bit here, but it's all in the same tone here.
Don't hate me, and this is gonna sound like I don't want you to talk to him, but I broke the seal before we started, and I feel like I'm gonna give.
Do you have to
I
pee?
think I'm gonna give myself a UTI.
No,
like, I have to
go
pee that
ahead.
bad.
Go
I'm
ahead.
So sorry.
No, we normally pause it, but since if when I do one-on-one podcasts, we both.
All right, I gotta go pee too. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't do that. Yeah, then we'll just pause it. But I had to pause for Chelsea Hood. I've had to pause sometimes for myself, so hopefully Sarah doesn't feel bad. You don't.
I've been
want to mess with
training my
UTIs.
bladder for this
Women
for
get
months.
UTIs very easily.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
No guy would ever. Have you ever heard of a guy getting UTI? Do men get UTIs?
I think you get it from them, right? That's like you get the infection from them sometimes.
Okay.
You know, I'm not a doctor.
I've never gotten a UTI.
Yeah, me either.
Well, what I was going to say
don't
though is
think.
you and I'll bring her back into this because I think she probably jumps on this. Is that we're both like kind of into bettering our lives, or like what's the word? I kind of wrote it down in a certain way. Yeah, to better yourself.
Yeah.
We're kind of into bettering ourselves as human
Yeah.
beings. And I feel like you seek out things to learn more, to better yourself. Whether I know you take very good care of yourself physically.
I don't.
You
though.
don't?
That's-
You've helped comedians lose weight, though.
Yeah, definitely. Like I go through waves like anything though. Like right now I've been working out again recently, but I definitely go up and down. I'm like, it's weird. I go in between like 15 to 20 pounds up or down.
Okay.
And like, I don't know if that's a lot for you, but
That
like,
would be a lot for me, yes.
yeah, for
Considerably.
me, I can bounce between like 205 and 185 all the time.
Damn, dude. You'd be great at cutting weight if you were in MMA.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I can go up, I can lose weight quick too.
See, it's weird. I used to be able to. I used to be a person where I always wanted to gain weight because I always thought I was way too skinny.
Yeah.
Then now I'm at a point where I want to lose about 5 pounds. I've been hovering around in between like 185 and 188. And I've given up pop. I haven't had pop in about 2 months. I thought that alone I was going to drop 10 pounds.
Yeah. It's still weird to hear it called pop because at first, the first thing I think is pot. I'm like, you don't even smoke pot. And then like,
I call it
it's
soda.
pop.
Occasionally
And then,
I'll have a little.
I go into pot. I'm like, oh, pop.
Well, you're both wrong for calling it soda.
Whatever.
Yeah, I call it.
In Chicago, we call it pop.
Yeah.
I have a lot of listeners throughout the country who probably get cringe when I say pop. I have a theory. It's because in Chicago, growing up, I called everyone by their last name, and I think it's a Chicago thing to call people by their last name.
Oh, soda
And
pop.
I think Pop is Soda's last name.
Oh.
First name Soda, last name
That's
Pop.
funny. I like it.
It's
But
my
I grew up
theory.
where everybody called last name, and
No?
call soda.
Okay, well.
But that's a
Way
good
to shoot that
concept.
shit
It's
to-
a good
yeah.
concept.
All right, thank you.
It would work.
I kind of rained on my parade a little bit there, but that's fine. So we're talking about while you went to go pee.
Sorry,
Don't be sorry at
talking
all.
about it. We're talking
When
about
Chelsea Hood and I did it, we paused it so we could piss.
did?
I'd say this is episode 17 of the previous 16. 8 of them we've paused to take a piss.
I had to go
Seriously.
I mean, I was just waiting for a time.
You feel better?
I feel so much better.
Good. I'm glad you do. So what we were talking about was
Mess in there.
Brian and I are into like researching how to better yourself as a person.
Yeah.
A lot of it's because I'm a dad now, and also because
Congrats on that.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm 11 years into comedy, closer to 12 years.
Damn.
So there are some times where I look back, like my 20s, and you're in right now. So this is some advice I give you, but I think you've already are putting that kind of business cap on a little bit, which
I
don't
definitely-
think about though, because you're only 20. I didn't mean to cut you off just then, but
No, it's okay.
I didn't want to like give you mixed advice, and don't take advice from you. Listen to everybody, but whether or not you apply the advice is a
Yeah.
different story. My 20s in Chicago, I started when I was 22. How old were you when you started?
I've 2.5 years ago.
So-
stand up, so
You were 21 going on 22 or 20?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, Dad.
Right? So I'm 33 now, but anyway, my 20s, I like to refer to as my roaring 20s, but I was out every night doing comedy, of course, but also out every night at 4 a.m. bars,
Yeah.
drinking constantly. I mean, there were times where I'd sit back going, when was the last time I didn't have a drink? And it would be scary to think
Yeah.
and I never considered myself an alcoholic because I wasn't getting drunk every night.
And you don't need it
But
the
a lot
next
of
morning.
No, it was.
Right.
I never felt. I like the same reason I like bars and pubs and that atmosphere. I don't like drinking. I like to party.
Right.
Well, that's one of the things that we talk about a lot because I do struggle with that because I joke
Go
about
through
this.
waves,
I'm
yeah.
the kind of person that like I don't like having one drink. I don't see the point in it. I feel that buzz and I'm like, I want another and I want another and I want to feel good and I want to have a good night. And it's hard when like you.
Well, I wasn't having one, but I knew.
Right. But
I
it's
met
hard
number
when you're
3 or
like,
4. I gotta go home
when
now.
you know you're constantly in that scene, and like sometimes you're getting paid in drinks.
Oh,
And,
totally.
like,
Yes.
So you feel like, oh well, I'm not getting money for this. I should have the 2 beers. And for me, it's never been. I'm learning to balance it right now, and I think it's good because I'm still young, and I'm learning that there needs to be a balance because like
there does.
and nothing ever good comes of me like getting slosh. Like the next, like I get sad, I get angry, and he's told me like you're just like it doesn't help you focus on what you need to focus, and like you think it does because you're like I did a mic or 2 tonight. I deserve these 8 beers, and then the next
So I
morning
told myself.
I don't do shit. I don't do anything all day.
Yeah.
I don't write. I don't do anything. And it's just like, where's the?
I never filmed myself. I never recorded myself. I would, push a few things on social media. I started to do a couple little things here or there, but as far as like consistency and actually trying to like use the internet as a tool, like what we were talking about, Brian is being a good guy for helping comedians. I mean, like, look, guys, listen to this, listen to that, or you could do this, all that. I wasn't doing any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought, I'm a comedian. I'm going to go tell jokes. That's it. I wasn't trying to get an agent. I didn't even think about that. I didn't go on any auditions my entire 20s living in Chicago. And Chicago films a lot of stuff. I just wasn't in that. I wanted to do stand-up. That's all I wanted to do. And
I also think
I didn't care.
Not to cut you off. There's a cool factor in like the I'm just in stand-up. I'm not going to focus on any of the other shit. I'm going to get great at it, which is, it's awesome. And it works. It definitely works. There's people that have like put their entire time in just the craft portion of it.
Yeah.
But there is another side of it that is the business side that if you can fucking study it, you can make money doing this. And the main goal for a comedian is to be able to tell jokes for money. You want to be able to support yourself, even if it's fucking $100,000 a year. So you're like,
it's fantastic. You're
like, that's great.
Of course.
But even if it's $100,000 a year, you're never fucking huge. You just are making enough money to support
You could
your
carve out
family.
your own little audience. That's
You're
the
doing
dream.
fucking comedy.
Yes.
That's what you want to do.
Yes.
Like, and so you have the ability right now to do that, especially now. And I think when you were coming up, there was a lot of like, it's the cool factor. Like you looked at the anti-comic, you look at the people that are like, I'm not going to post my selfie. I'm not going to fucking tweet every day. I'm not going to Facebook all the time because I'm committed to this shit.
Here's how stupid I was.
Deep in it.
I was so dumb to the fact that I didn't want to post any of my stand-up clips on YouTube because I thought if
People are
someone
gonna steal your jokes.
No, not even that dumb. I thought if people come to see me, I want it to be fresh.
Yeah.
But also, it's like, how do they come see you if they don't like you and know what the fuck you got? That's how dumb. That was so stupid. Like I had no sense with that.
That happened on my because people have been coming to my personal YouTube account that I don't even use. Like I've only posted I think a 5-minute and a 10-minute, and I haven't updated them in a long time. And somebody wrote like, found you from the Laugh Factory's Hollywood website, but it's the same set as this one. Do you have write new jokes? And I wrote like, I do have new jokes. Come to a fucking live show. Like I haven't recorded.
You do. You should start recording and start putting out.
I know.
Especially now that you're. Yeah, you have to now.
Now that I
and
have those 5,000 followers, man.
Well, no, that's a start though. That's a start, and it's.
But the fact that somebody even wrote that, I want to, it wasn't mean. It was just I want to hear something new. I've already heard this from where I came from.
You gotta feed them.
You gotta feed them, and I do think there's still something with social media where people are like a little bit like, it feels cheap. It feels I came about right before social media started when I first started doing stand up. I mean, obviously
true.
MySpace. No, MySpace was a thing. Of course, you're right.
I wasn't allowed
and
to
Dan
have a
Cook was there,
MySpace.
but I mean before that,
I wasn't.
that hit before that hit nationally. You weren't really.
I wasn't.
She's so young.
I wasn't allowed to have a MySpace, and then when I got
You and I
to
are the
high
same
school,
age, Brian.
Facebook
Oh God,
came
don't you
out.
feel old as shit right
You're
now?
not even that old though.
For comedy, luckily I'm not, but for
You're
you, I would be.
33?
33.
Yeah, I'm 32. I
Thanks,
turned
it's-
33 this year.
That's
So
not bad.
yeah.
You're still.
Thanks.
You graduated in 03?
Thanks. Yes.
03?
You
Okay.
graduated 3 too?
I failed 8th grade, but I was supposed to. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
I was
cool.
9
Yeah.
in 03.
we get it.
Were you
okay.
really?
9.
9.
So young, so adorable.
Oh.
Anyway, no, the way I'm like, anyway, though, back to, but with the social media thing, I get there's this natural thing where I'm like, do I want to be this comic that annoys people on social media? Do I want to?
Yeah.
Because social media isn't cool in a lot of ways.
But you're not annoying people. That's the thing.
But it's useful. You're right.
You guys, and even it's fucking stupid because I hate it. you guys fucking play to the back of the room with social media. Like it's you guys. Some comics do it in the club. You play to the back of the room, but then some people do it on social media too. And it's like, no, fucking play for everybody else. It's social media. Like you. There's so many fucking people
But
here.
I do understand.
Oh my God.
I do understand what he's saying.
No,
'Cause
I
sometimes
do.
Sometimes I'll like.
The way-
I'll Instagram a tweet and I'm like, why am I doing this? And then it'll get like a shit ton of likes. I'm like, okay, maybe this is why I'm doing it. But you do feel that,
But
like, oh,
you
I don't,
feel that.
I don't
Damn it,
wanna-
Brian. That is
yeah.
the best way I've ever heard that put. You play to the back of the room on social media. That is genius,
true,
dude.
though.
No, if you saw the way, I'm glad we're filming this. You could see my reaction as you said that. I literally just was like, what the fuck? Because I hate comics who play to the back of the room.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you listening who aren't comedians, which most of you are, I hope. In our world, playing to the back of the room means you're trying to.
What's up, Dale?
No, that'd be the worst, man. That'd break my heart if most of my listeners were comedians. I know I have comedians listening, and I'm appreciative of that. I'm grateful, but I want regular people
I think
listening
my
to
mom's
this.
gonna listen, so she's not a comedian.
Good, I like your mom.
Oh yeah,
Jonah Jerkin's mom listens. Hey, Jonah's mom.
With them. She's like, he looks like Bobby Flay.
I got that over the weekend. A few girls came up to me going, "Has anyone ever said I go Bobby Flay?" Yeah, all the
Yeah,
time.
you used to have a
Bobby,
bit.
yeah, fuck
You used to
me.
have the
Okay, bye.
bit.
They're
Right?
like, "It's a compliment. We mean it as a compliment." I'm like, "Yeah, I get it. It's fine." It's all the time.
probably annoyed you so much.
No, your mom. She
she loved
was
talking
nice.
to you though. She loved
Yeah, I remember talking to her. She was really cool. I like that. I like supportive mothers like that. So, like I was saying though, with comedians, we're giving you a little inside information for those of you who aren't comedians. Playing to the back of the room means the back of the room is where the comedians hang out. So you're just trying to make comedians laugh. Equate it to your job where people are just like kissing the boss's ass in a sense. Because in a way, you're getting peer approval is important as a comedian, sure. But if that's all you care about, you're going to find yourself stuck in a lot of ways. You're limiting yourself.
Everything.
Because if you're good to the audience, the comedians are going to like you too.
Right.
So if you're just playing to them, you're their little fucking mascot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't like that. I like people who could kill for both. Or just kill for the audience. Because at the end of the day, the comics aren't buying tickets to see you. So who gives a shit about their opinion?
They're just going to criticize you anyway.
They're going to criticize you anyway. The only way that hurts, though, in our industry is comedians do have a lot of say. Because people in it, like, managers or agents or executives will say, hey, who should we look out for? And if you're someone they don't like, they're not going to mention you, even if you're deserving.
Sure.
So there's that. But then again,
then
fuck
if you build your audience enough where it's like, fuck them. Because you're buying tickets.
Can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
Do you think there's I don't want to say the comic's name because I just opened for them and they're pretty well known. It's not Chris Red. It's somebody else. But
I'll talk shit about Chris Red. No, Chris Red's a great friend of mine. I love him too. I'm joking.
But
that's why I said it, 'cause I'm joking.
He's hated by other comics. Hated. But the reason he's successful is because he found like he does have a gross, absurd, whatever joke type, if you could call it that. But like but he found like his audience where like he's doing well and he's making money off of it.
Is it a mostly female audience?
Yep.
Yes.
I know who you're talking about.
So you know
I know exactly what you're talking about. Should we not say his name, Brian?
30 minutes of his set is
Calvin Klein.
There you go. CK are the initials.
30 minutes of his set is saying, okay, who has a question for me? And Curtis was like, can you imagine getting paid money for somebody to ask, like for you to talk into a microphone and go, who has a question for me?
But that means you have fans.
But that's what I'm saying. He's making money and he has fans that come to the shows and love it. They love seeing, him saying, "Oh, you're gonna take your tampon out."
I went and saw.
They love it.
I went and saw Joe Rogan in 2008. Okay, this is before his podcast existed. He only had a message board. After his shows, he used to do a question and answer. So he would do an hour stand-up set, and then he would do a question and answer with the crowd, and he would invite the entire audience, like anybody you want to line up, ask a question. He would spend an hour and a half doing a question and answer after the show.
That's after the show.
That's
after the show. But
totally different.
It's the same. Sure.
It's engaging your audience.
Whatever.
Right?
It's the same idea though, that people, if they want to fucking ask you a question, they're gonna ask you a question. I think a lot of comics, they don't realize that they're famous, or they don't think about the wow factor. Like what you're doing on stage is, you guys humble it a lot, but you're blowing people away a lot of times because you're like, oh my God, like this is their night out. They're fucking enjoying themselves. Like they haven't been out in a long time, and they get to watch somebody perform something that makes them feel something. And so
I'm not bashing what he does. I'm just saying we were talking about playing to the back of the room, but he's doing the opposite because everybody in the back of the room doesn't
Hates
like him.
it.
Hates him.
But they're
So
not buying the tickets.
Right. You're
Here's-
right.
here's-
So does it matter? So should you try to? So you were.
But there's
saying-
It
also
doesn't matter,
there's
but then
also-
there's also. Let me give you my opinion real quickly on this. I see Brian's point where it's like it doesn't matter that he carved out an audience, so he gets to do that.
But then
I
you get to be
respect that.
hated from by
Yeah.
the people that are.
I'm going to address that too. I hate saying artist because comedians are artists, of course. I just don't like saying artist because I never want to take it that seriously because I just don't like that. You know what I mean? But as an artist, I despise that because you have an audience and you're wasting that time. Grant, like what Joe Rogan did. See, I lived in LA for 3 years. Joe Rogan works his fucking ass off in so many ways, but also as a comedian, he's at a point where he could kind of go like a Chris Rock route. I know Chris Rock, I'm not knocking him, but he has writers. It's pretty. Kevin Hart has writers. It's kind of known. Kevin Hart has to. I don't know how he has a minute to do anything, but Rogan, I would see out. I would see him at the Ha Ha Club in North Hollywood. He would pop into clubs that were beneath him. No offense, North Hollywood Comedy Cafe or Ha Ha Club. Yeah, I forgot the name of it for a second, but. That dude was working on he wanted to be also still a great stand-up, and he is.
I want to clarify the writing thing because it always bugs me when people say this. They're like, "Oh, this person has writers. This person has writers." Now
they have collaborators. Is what I should have said. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. I
Like,
apologize.
and I
You're
think
right.
That's
You don't want to cheapen those guys because those guys are beasts. Both the people I named are Hall of Fame.
It's a lot different.
That is a
than
lot
writers,
different. Yes, it is a lot different.
They're not writing.
But
they're helping. It's like
I'm saying Rogan could do that. I wasn't knocking it.
Yeah.
I wasn't knocking it per se.
Definitely.
Well, Liam Gallagher is one of my favorite. He was a singer of Oasis. Saw him concert twice last year. Because I wasn't really that into Oasis when they were going on, but his brother wrote his songs before. Yeah. Now he's on his own. He writes some of his songs, but he also collaborates with other people. I don't care.
Yeah. Comedy's different than music, but go ahead.
Comedy, music gets accepted. Music gets accepted. Obviously, I would care if someone was writing all your other shit.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it to knock them because I do know they collaborate. They sit around with a bunch of funny people and they bounce shit off each other.
Just to give you more of an even, because I've talked to people that have done it for those people, especially I've talked to people that have done it for Chris Rock, is that Chris Rock will go up and he'll talk about a concept and then they'll help tag and everything
which is pretty common for comedians actually in general. Yes.
Jeff Arcuri
but
gave me one of my tags a year ago.
I've only taken 2 in about 12 years, Marty DeRosa and Adam Burke, who have both had on the podcast. They both given me tags. And I've taken 2. Yeah. People have one for me. I'll go, yeah, I'll hear it.
I've given
most
people,
time I say
I've
no.
given people tags here that they've actually
you're quick on your feet, man. When we did this great tribute to Schwan, and you and Curtis hosted it, and that was an amazing thing, and you guys did a fantastic job running that.
Thank you.
Because it was a memorial, and those aren't easy to do.
I didn't. I was.
You guys were in your element, though. You're great.
It, alone, and I told Chris, I was like, "Listen, man, I'm not. I don't really like public speaking, and so I was like, I can't. I'd rather just fill in with jokes. Like you're good at hosting, you're good at speaking. You go up and you host this shit, and then."
Was he thinking he wasn't going to be able to do it because it was going to be too hard? Or
yeah, he didn't like it either because he felt like he was going to cry the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a tough situation.
We balanced each other out.
For the loyal listeners who have listened to the podcast from the beginning, a few episodes ago, I had
it was the Alone episode.
The one I did solo, where I drank alone.
Which is great. You could do that. I think.
Yeah.
Not to interrupt, I think you should do that once a week and then do one with guests once a week. But go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, people really like that actually.
Yeah,
I felt we were doing it.
You're good at ranting.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I like to go off.
You are.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I mentioned Schwan on that podcast and talked about him. About a week later, we did Laugh Factory did a memorial, and it was an amazing event and a great way to honor a great dude. So, in Brian Morton and Curtis Shawflag, you guys hosted it and did a great job.
Yeah.
You guys threw in humor when humor needed to be thrown in, and then you did sentimental stuff when that needed too. It was awesome.
It was crazy.
It was awesome.
I was
they were
sobbing
amazing.
and then laughing the next minute, and you were just kind of
they were so good,
and everybody was doing the same thing, and it was just a very
comics were joking in the back, going, "Okay, when we die, I want these two to be running."
Yes.
No, I'm not kidding. We want you two to run wakes. You guys should start a business. The internet will get you out there. We'll run your wake for you. It was amazing.
It's a good movie concept.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
Hey, Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn, you looking for another project together?
Yeah.
Anyway, so real quick, Brian, you mind bartending for me just because you're closer? You mind filling me up? I got a little bit left, but I figured you could top me off there. And while you're doing that, Sarah, I will wrap up the comic you're talking about and that.
Yeah.
And Brian, you could then chime in. I'm not, because I'm agreeing with both you in a sense. It's his audience. He could do it. I mentioned Joe Rogan because Rogan did it after his show. And Rogan also says he still works because he's still, as the artist in him, the creator in him, wants to be a killer comedian still. Mm-hmm. So when I hear about that dude you're talking about waste half an hour of his hour for question and answer and everyone in the back hating it, I understand why they hate it. I don't blame him. He's got the audience likes. I get that. I then think, why not do material though, man? Well, you're getting lazy. The reason people started to turn on Dane Cook wasn't just because, well, partly because he blew up real quick, and I've met him a few times. I thought he was a really nice guy to me, so I'm not even knocking Dane Cook. But he had in his one album that was really big. His first album was really good. If I meet anyone who says they didn't like Dane Cook's first album, I think they're full of shit because it was legitly a funny album. The second album, he did a callback to the first album because he was so big he knew he could. And there was a laziness there that comedians naturally repel against. We don't like that kind of shit. We don't like shortcuts. We don't like
oh, they worked this time.
Exactly, right? We don't like the same reason we don't like the sitcom star who becomes a comedian because we think you're taking a shortcut. Now, there's some people who go about the right way where they're like, no, I'm going to put in the hours. I'm going to hustle because I want the respect of my peers. But there are some people who are like, Theo Von, who I'm a big fan of. I've opened for him in the past.
Oh, he's coming here.
He's coming to the Laugh Factory in August, so there's a plug for those shows. If you're in Chicago, definitely come check him out. He's a great dude. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to try to get him on this podcast. Hung out with him a bunch in L.A. I'd met him in Chicago. I'd featured for him in a club here like 5-6 years ago. Longer
it's okay
than that,
to say the club, you know.
I don't even want to say the club. I don't. And I don't even wish them ill will. I hope they do great. A rising tide lifts all boats. I hope every comedy club in the goddamn planet sells out every show. But I have my reasons for not naming them.
Your fucking passion is so nice.
But I don't get booked by that. I don't work there. So.
But I think it's not just the question and answer. It's the fact that I've heard a lot of people say this guy doesn't even do jokes. He makes like gross sounds and sex noises into the microphone. Too. It's 80%. Because so when I went up for him, he told me. He needed a female host and he needed a clean 10, and so Curtis was like, "Can you do a clean 10?" And I was like, "I mean, how clean? Like, yeah, kind of." And so like in my head, I'm like,
because your social media is not that clean.
No, it's not.
You do like some fun sexual stuff that I like. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
because it's honest too. You know?
Yeah, and so I go, "Oh, I'll do 5 minutes of clean stuff and then I'll do crowd work." And then I meet him before the show and he goes, "Hey, how you doing? Can you do like 12 minutes? 12 minutes of like just clean."
Why does it sound like an Italian woman from Brooklyn?
See, I'm so bad at accents. Damn it. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna try to. But he was just like, "Good for you. Good for you."
It was Dice.
Do a stand up.
Yeah. Oh, now we know. Andrew Dice Clay.
He's like,
Bragger over here. Sperry open for Dice.
I wouldn't be on this podcast if I owned up. I'm just kidding.
No, you probably would.
Yeah.
No, I probably would. But he was like, you're just going to do 12 minutes. And I was like, yeah, Curtis, let me know. He goes, okay, totally clean, no crowd work. And I'm like, oh.
I've had that before. That's rough. It's like doing comedy with your arm behind your back, especially as a host. No, I've done that with a host.
Hosting the show, and I go.
I'll say Whitney Cummings asked me not to do crowd work.
So do you not want me to be like, welcome, who's been to the Laugh Factory before? And he goes, yeah, I guess you could say that, but I do a lot of crowd work. Like most of my stuff's crowd work, so just limit it. So I'm like, fuck.
Don't ask them if they have any questions. That's the number one rule.
Questions?
Because that's what he did, right?
Right. Oh yeah. So I go up there and I do like clean stuff. But the thing is, he kind of like whoever's hosting for him, if he gives them those rules, which I think is fucking dumb. If a comic gives another comic's rules, I think that's so stupid. But he set me up for failure because that whole crowd was there for him. They wanted the dirty shit. They wanted the nasty shit. I told my clean jokes. They weren't laughing at any of it. I said one nasty thing.
And they killed, right? Yeah.
They erupted.
Yeah, that I hate. I'm sorry. I get it's your crowd, but fuck no.
I was
because
really
you're
upset
not,
about it.
That bothers me because what he's doing is he feels if you do dirty stuff, it hurts his impact.
He wants the contrast.
Yeah, the contrast. Which again, that's the impact.
I'm not even warming them up because
it's
they
like
don't
never saying fuck, and then when you say fuck, it has more impact.
Yeah.
Right? I get what it. Yeah.
But I
don't
said one
that.
slightly like dirty thing, and so I was like, oh shit. So
sounds like Curtis should just booked a clean comedian.
Well, maybe. But you also know what though? The reason why Bill Burr is the best comic on the planet, and why everyone loves Bill Burr, is why everyone loves him. He's the best comic on the planet.
I'm not a huge fan at all.
Yeah, it's funny.
I
You're
met
joking,
him
right?
No, I swear.
Really?
Yeah.
I met him when I first came to Chicago, and I met him after his show at the Chicago Theater, and I was like, "Hey, Bill, I love you so much." I go, "I'm an improver, and I do a little stand up. This was like a couple of years ago." And he goes, "Oh, nice. One piece of advice: stay away from those male comedians." And I did not. I did not listen to his voice.
Because well,
That's the one thing he told me. He's so cool.
A lot of people.
He is
like
super
this,
cool,
I love
man.
it. I
Played
like
hockey
it-
with him once.
I like him as a person. Great guy. His stand up to me, in case my mom's listening to this, but if I wanted to hear somebody complain for an hour, I'd talk to my mom.
It's going to fucking rust.
That's
It's so funny.
Well, who are your favorite comedians, though? I have to ask because you don't like Bill Burr, which is weird.
Ooh,
I don't need to hear your favorites. I want to hear Brian's. Now, you could get to yours, but I'm curious. Only you didn't slam who's considered the best comic in the world.
I didn't
You know what I mean?
slam?
No, he said he doesn't like him. He doesn't like him. So
so you
Yeah.
wanna know.
that's why I want to know
Yeah,
because
yeah.
if you don't like Bill Burr, I want to know who your favorites are.
Joey Diaz is my favorite.
That's
Joe
comic.
Diaz is fan. He's great.
Yeah.
No, I love Joey.
I really.
I
like-
mentioned you when I first met him. I
Yeah.
told you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, I like that kid.
Yeah.
He calls everyone kid, but no, he definitely liked you. Yeah, he knew you.
I love Brian Callen. Let's see.
It's funny not to find the Bill Burr stuff funny and also like Brian Callen. I like
Because
Brian Callen.
Brian
He's a nice
Callen
dude.
to me is so.
He's talking about how buff he is and
No,
shit.
no,
It's
he's
hilarious.
just so over the top that it's so stupid to me that it kills me. Like
Okay.
when he acts out shit, I like Sebastian a lot. Like
Sebastian's a bigger actor. I actually I featured for Brett Ernst last weekend, right?
Yeah.
Sebastian's father came to the show.
Oh wow.
And Brett gave me shit going, hey, dude, I was going to introduce you to him, and then I didn't see you. And I go, how often you get to see his Sebastian's dad? He goes, well, not that often. I go, exactly. I didn't want to interfere. You got 10 minutes with the guy. You're going to spend 5 of introducing him to me? No, man, I'm not. And then he's like, you're a good kid. I'm like, no, I get that. Like, if I'm going to shaking his hand saying, hi, nice to meet you. I'm a big fan of your son. Cool, great. Like, what's the point? Like,
Right.
but his dad was there, nice guy. And Sebastian's taking a
They
Penn
go
McGann.
way
He's a
back.
good dude.
Like Brett and Sebastian.
They've known
like,
each other for a long ass
Parents are
time. They came
obsessed
up
with
together.
Sebastian.
Yeah, he's
I told my
great.
dad, Sebastian Maniscalco opened his one special, the latest one, I think, which was shot at the Chicago Theater. He opened it by saying, like, I told all my friends and family I'm performing at the Chicago Theater, and they're all from around here, so they know what a big deal it is. I tell my dad, and my dad goes, where are all these people supposed to park? I heard that. I'm like, that's my dad. That's
Yeah.
exactly what my dad.
Yeah.
Because my dad, he's notorious for. People go, where's your dad? I thought he was coming. I go, he couldn't find parking, so he left.
Yeah.
And he doesn't put that much effort in. He'll drive around 3 times and then leave.
Well,
Even for like your
You
little
can't
league
blame him.
games.
I'll give you an
That's like-
example.
that's
My
growing up in
cousin, no, because I
Chicago.
played the park I played Little League at was literally around the block. So I live in a great neighborhood, Porch Park. I lived around the block from the park, grade school
I
right
read
there.
I don't know if that's your current neighborhood, but you
not my
posted like a
current.
dog thing about.
I was at the dog park there, yeah.
You posted like really like it was like a gangster dog signs, like keep your dog away. if
Yeah,
your dog's
I
not
love that. They're fucking. It's a
Yeah.
badass neighborhood. In LA, they would never have that. In LA, so if you're a dog owner out there, you know when you take your dog to mix them in with other dogs, there are what I call pussy dog owners who don't understand how dogs are in nature. Now, my dog, when she wants to play, her tail wags like crazy, which people get, but she also barks a little bit. She kind of goes rah rah like
a dog and a baby.
Yeah, and I walk them both a few times a day by myself because I'm a stay-at-home dad
At the
during the
same
day.
time?
Yeah. And sometimes it's annoying because I'll be getting the stroller going with some good momentum, and my dog goes, I got a scent, and she starts going backwards. I go, motherfucker, come on, Holly.
You
Damn
gotta
it. And
train
she's
the-
alpha female. She's a little badass.
You gotta train the dog to walk the baby.
That would be ideal, right? But she's super protective, though.
Perfect.
She's an alpha female. Like,
Perfect. Not gonna get fucked with.
if anyone got, like, sometimes we go on walks, and if there's, I tell other people, they go, is your dog friendly? Because they want to see if the dogs could meet. I go, she is, but not when he's here, because she views everyone as a threat.
When I met my nephew for the first time, I sat down to hold him, and Hank, their dog, bit my hand.
Ah.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
No,
It
it
was
was like
it's
when
a
my
very
wife was
weird-
pregnant, we'd go to the dog parks in LA. And it used to be before she was pregnant, dogs could come up to her and she'd be like, hi, other doggy, and like, and meet them and no problem. Then when she got pregnant, we'd go to the dog park. Any dog that even got near her, she'd go after. I had to rip
That's
her off a pit bull.
crazy.
She took a pit bull to its back.
What kind of dog is she?
She's a boxer lab. Boxers are tough too. People
Yeah,
forget
boxers
Yeah.
are tough as
that.
fuck.
They are, you know.
I got a boxer pit bull.
But so I like boxer pit bulls are fucking bad.
Yeah,
We
they're
almost
great.
got one because when we went to the rescue place, they had boxer pit bull puppies.
Yeah.
But the reason we got our dog was because when we went on their website, they had like pictures of the dogs that they just like got
fell
in.
in love.
That was the first one we saw. And then even so, we're like, well, maybe we should get a smaller dog because we'll be traveling, going back and forth to LA to Chicago. And so we were kind of thinking, well, we'll get a smaller dog. But then when we walked into the place, they had the dogs running loose. There's a place in West Hollywood called Barkin' Bitches. It was like
Yeah.
an adoption center, like a rescue joint. And she was the first one to come up to us. I go, this is the fucking dog. This is the first one we saw. This is kind of like, you know, it's meant to
Serendipity.
be, right?
Yeah.
Anyhow, though, a lot of dog owners don't get that. I remember one time, I never saw my wife get this mad. She was like, I wanted to fucking hit that lady. Like, we show up at the dog park, and all the dogs are chasing one dog, which is what dogs do. They'll play, but they're all chasing the one. My dog gets in, and my dog was athletic. She's quick, She was like 2 at the time, 1 at the time. She catches up and is like the first one there. And the woman was like, no, not that dog. That dog's aggressive. And I'm like, bitch, you've never met my fucking dog before. Right? And normally I don't say bitch, but for this woman, what else are you going to call someone who hates dogs? Just fucking
female
bitch.
dog.
Cunt.
Right? Cunt is a better word. And so anyway, at the Portage Park
I was
Dog
waiting
Park.
all podcasts to say that.
Right? There you go. The Portage Park Dog Park in Chicago has a sign basically saying, if you don't understand that dogs get a little bit wild, get the fuck out of here, basically. I mean, they did it in a little bit nicer terms, but they also threw in that little dig, which I'm like, this is like the most Chicago, passive-aggressive. I'm calling you a pussy to your face without saying actual pussy because it's a sign.
Yeah, when you posted,
great.
I was like, that's fucking real. Like,
That's
that's what needs to be at every dog park.
Every dog park needs to be at the Portage
every
Park dog
fucking dog park needs to
I'm
be
the
there.
next neighborhood over, but my parents still live in that neighborhood. So, I'll bring my dog by there sometimes. And in the summer, there's a Dairy Queen over there.
Yeah.
So I hit up DQ, get a cookie dough blizzard, take my dog around, and it's a good time because I'm not too far from there. It's about 10
Are we
minutes away.
sponsored by DQ?
We should be.
We should be.
I
Also,
really think we
Big,
could get
Big
sponsored
J
by King Cobra
Okerson's one of
40.
my favorite comics as well.
Okay, well, so you do like a lot of awesome comics. I just was curious why you didn't like Bill Burr because all the comics you named, if you asked them their favorite
love
comic,
Bill Burr.
they would say Bill Burr.
Yeah.
But what I like about Bill Burr was that he's got the ultimate comics loving. He's always like pushing it, coming up with new stuff. He respects the craft of comedy and always wants to get better. This dude's 50, but still is like, I got to keep up because I don't want to fall behind.
Dude,
I don't want to
get
get
me wrong.
lazy. And he, oh no, this was gonna say. I'm
I
sorry.
respect Bill Burr.
I forgot. Okay, I'm glad. Of course you
There's
do.
a difference.
Of course you do. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to imply otherwise. And Sarah, I didn't mean to touch your shoulder. You're just right next to me, and I was reminded of what you said.
It's the silver
it's the
hair.
Me Too movement. So sometimes you're worried about being like,
You're
what's
right,
you know.
you're right,
But
you're
if
right.
Brian was in here, I'd be doing the same shit. I am. I'm kind of like that. If I'm right next to you, I'd be like, dude, you fucking see that game? And then I touch your shoulder. What I was gonna say is, so you brought up the comedian who set you up to fail.
Yeah.
What I like about Bill Burr right now and what he's doing is, so he's doing his Monday morning podcast is huge. It's one of the biggest on the planet.
He does it alone, right? Where
Yes,
he rants for a while?
He does. He rants. Well, that's another reason why I was a little bit weird about it because we're both angry redheads. I don't want people to think I'm ripping him off.
I
And
don't
when he
think
talks
that's
about
true
his,
at all,
He's bald
man.
now, right?
he's bald now.
You
Luckily,
said
You
that.
guys are a little bit
Luckily,
different.
I'm glad he went bald. That's right,
guys are a little
motherfucker. We're
different.
separate now. Just give me shit.
I
But
believe you've been in fights. I don't believe he has, but keep going.
no, I don't think he is either. But I definitely
you.
have. I've got this. I got a
Yep.
scar on my pinky to prove it.
I've heard the stories.
You
I've
have.
heard a knockout story or two, but go ahead. Sorry.
What he's doing now with this Thursday podcast is he's having guests on. And his rationale was, I've got this platform I want to promote. I want to push other comedians. He started All Things Comedy with El Madrigal
Yeah.
to promote, to push other comedians.
Which is
like
great.
like I had said earlier about comedy clubs, a rising tide lifts all boats. If you're out there and you're starting anything related to comedy, you're in my world. So I love you.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that you're here. More help. Yeah, let's get this more mainstream. Because in my perfect world, I want stand-up comedy, live stand-up comedy to be thought of the way movies are thought of. Where it's like, all right, say you're a random couple out there, you're listening to this podcast. I would love it for every Friday, Saturday night, you and your boyfriend or husband or your girlfriend, your wife, whatever, you say to each other, hey, what do you want to do Saturday night? I don't know. Any good movies out? No. What about comedy shows? Any good comedy shows? I want comedy to be thought of because most people think movies, maybe see a band, go to a restaurant.
like a
Comedy doesn't pop up in the average person's mind the same way going to a movie does.
Yeah.
I want comedy to get to
It's like
that
a
level.
special occasion
It
for
is.
some
It's
people.
the
Like,
average-
twice a year, we'll go to the Laugh Factor.
I think the average person doesn't even go to a comedy show once a year.
I think
and
that
then,
goes like once or twice in their life.
yes,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
That's why it's
that's
dumb.
why I'm telling you to start putting your videos on
Right,
YouTube because
exactly,
you got
exactly.
you have attention now. They're coming to your YouTube page because, oh, I saw you on this. I'm gonna go to your YouTube page. What else you got? Oh, just this. All right, and then eventually they forget about you and move on.
That was the
You
first
need
thing
to
I told her,
retain
though.
them.
Like, I'm like, you have to post something every fucking day.
Yes,
Like,
you do.
From now on, like, now that you have these followers.
I mentioned
it's
Gary
every
V
day.
earlier. Gary Vaynerchuk is his name. He's an entrepreneur. He does like a motivational stuff. I like his energy. I ripped on him on when I did the solo podcast because I didn't like his thought process with. He was saying Ricky Rubio should just be working harder on his game. He's off in Ibiza banging chicks. I go, what if that was his goal? What if his goal was to be good enough to bang chicks in Ibiza?
Sure.
You got to respect it then because
But I
if
feel
that's
like,
your goal, whatever your goal
I
is.
feel like
reach
if any time that you're at that level of sports, that's not actually your goal.
Of course not. I'm looking for the humor side of it, though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That's what I do is I ruin humor.
Yeah, okay. That's why you're better for being a manager, man. I think you'd be a great comedian manager. I think you'd put a lot of people in the right direction. And that's why I really appreciate becoming better friends with you because I talked about it with Marty and Cole about how I need some therapy, and you and I talked about some stuff. I emailed one woman twice, no response, so she's fucking out. Anyway, though, I'm bouncing around a little bit. What I was going to say, well, that's what you do in a bar, so that's why I'm happy with the podcast. I made this podcast as an excuse to fucking ramble. What was I on about?
You're talking about Ricky Rubio and Gary Vee.
Oh, no, so Gary Vee says as far as social media goes, because he's a big fan of social media, and I'm a fan of, now that I know how to control it, I'm actually a fan of it. It's resourceful, it's useful, people want to connect with people, and it's great if you could use it in that regard, right?
Yeah,
But you were saying, you don't want to annoy people, you could lose some people. I've seen a couple followers disappear here or there. It's going to happen, don't even worry about that.
It was like a week before she hit the 5,000 because she was at like 494. It was like 4994.
He's my manager. He keeps up with it every day.
Totally.
I was like looking at it.
Him and my twin sister were texting me every day. You're 10 away. You're 9
because
away.
it was the first experience.
You guys identical twins?
Fraternal. She's 6 feet tall and she has short brown hair, and the thought of going on any stage terrifies her.
Oh, wow.
But she's like my number one fan, and like when this all like happened, she was telling all of her like sorority sisters.
Oh,
like,
that's
But this was with Sarah. It was the first person that I had followed that actually it was like where I saw it happen.
It was
because
cool to
with,
see.
like,
I love your social media,
other comics,
Sperry.
but
I
other
do.
comics-
I really do. I'm a fan of it. You're
other
funny as
comics
hell
that
on it.
they posted their videos, but I didn't catch it in time. Or like with Sarah, she's like, "Oh my god, they posted a video today." I was like, "Oh shit!" So then immediately, like, I screenshotted where her followers are at, so I could just watch that because
I think they both hit.
I'm fascinated by that shit.
Didn't
Like
they both hit 1 mil?
for your
views
video,
on
you're
Instagram?
almost at 2 mil for both of them.
For both of them?
Yeah.
Damn. It's a weird retention rate thing. 2 million views, but only 5,000 followers. Not only, that's great. I'm at 1,600, and I've actually been trying within the last few months.
Does it count it as a view if you just scroll by it? I don't know.
I don't know what they do, but
Instagram's weird.
I think
either way, it's
amazing.
you're doing it
You have
to
do
go
3
from
seconds.
3 seconds.
Yeah,
To go from
yeah.
13 to 1,300 to 5,000 in a short period of time is fantastic.
And my gross DMs are just.
Bust out that phone in a minute or two because we're getting there.
Well, also
But-
like less than 3 years in comedy.
That
so
too.
That's the big.
And you're smart enough to know that this is where you want to be. When I was 3 years into comedy,
Oh, I knew
I was a
wanted to do
fucking
this.
mess.
Yeah,
Like I was a good comic. It was just funny because someone asked. I run a show called Comedians You Should Know in Chicago. Everybody, I co-run it with a bunch of people. It's the best show in the city.
Yeah, like let me brag about it for a while. So I came to Chicago in 2010, and the first local show I actually ever went to was Comedians You Should Know, and that's actually why I fell in love with the Chicago comedy scene, because I would go there every Wednesday. I think I went at least 2 to 3 times a month, and I
Wow.
would bring 10, 15 people all the fucking time to your show.
Well, you remember my first.
No, I remember you.
Right.
And then when we reintroduced each other, I remember at Laugh Factory, you then when you start working, you're going, I just go to Comedians You Should Know a lot. And I mean, then because
Right.
you don't, you know what I mean? When you know someone from one world,
Yeah.
you don't then see them opening doors for you at the
Right.
club because
Yeah,
you were
'cause
working the
I started
door.
at a door.
Yeah.
Well, 2.5 years ago, I did my first open mic here. 2.5.
Yeah.
I did my very first open mic here at the Laugh Factory, and then after, I was still serving, and after the show, they were all like, "We're going to the best show in the city," and Curtis and Brian were like, "Yeah, meet us at CYSK," and I was just like, "What's that?" Went, had an amazing time, and like I
You know what
literally-
Special K is? You know what
I
CSK is?
literally remember, and they might not remember, but I posted this on the day that I performed that. I was like, I remember turning them and being like, "This was so awesome. How does like somebody like get on the show?" And they were like, "Go fuck
Have you
yourself."
done it yet? You've done it. Yeah, you've done it. Yeah.
So
yeah.
when I got the email from you guys 2.5 years later, I'm gonna embarrass myself, but I got a little choked up, and I thought it was a joke. And the first person I called was him, and I was like, "This is like their email, right? Like I think they just emailed me to do the show." And he was like, Brian shows not a lot of emotion, you know this, and he just goes, "Yeah, no, I knew this would happen. No, I knew, yeah, you get it." And then the second person I called was my mom, because I've told her like.
No, that
this
makes
is
me
a-
feel
this is a
good
show.
being one of the founders of the show at that
Oh,
room
it's-
at
I
O'Toole's.
thought it was a practical joke.
Man,
for
like
a
you
long
don't get
time.
it. Like
Timothy
when I
O'Toole's,
would
yeah.
go there, so I'd gone.
No,
to
you're right though. I don't get it though because when I see
right.
people's reactions to it, it does. I've
It's
performed
insane.
when the show's like I started. I was part of the group that started at Timothy O'Toole's. The Community Show itself, I wasn't initial founder of that. They were at a different bar, but I was the into O'Toole's because I knew the management there and I'd done some stuff with them.
Such a
Anyway, though, I
cool
brought
room.
up the O'Toole's thing because we started that show because we didn't like the way other shows were run in the city.
Right.
Now, I mentioned how I was as a comedian 3 years in. When we started that show, I would have been about 3 years. At O'Toole's, I was about 3 years in. The difference was I actually was booked on the top popular shows at the time. but the rest of the group was like, fuck them, fuck whoever was going on. I'll name them. It was Lincoln Lodge and Chuck. Weren't given the group that I started with. It was myself, Danny Kales, Drew Michael, who's got an HBO special going to come out this summer.
Dude, congratulations to Drew Michael.
Right, yeah, it's amazing.
HBO special.
Yeah, he wrote for SNL 2 seasons ago, I think. Mike Leibovitz. No, he doesn't anymore. Lebo, who's fucking an amazing comedian who's doing really well for himself right now. We were talking about commercials earlier. He's doing voiceover work all left and right. He
was on that Daily Show commercial.
He'll have a special one day too.
Of course.
And Marty DeRosa. Michael Sanchez, who's a great film director in his own right, Sanchez was a jack of all trades. He was a great musician, good comedian. I'm gonna say great. Sorry, Michael, you weren't a great comedian.
Found out years later that he's cousins with Abby Sanchez.
He is, yeah.
Isn't that random?
Isn't it nuts? Yeah. 5 of the who Abby was on a few podcasts ago. 5 of the 6 comedians on the show were awesome, and I think are some of the best still in the country.
Of course. I agree.
Anyway, though, like we did that out of like fuck you, we'll do it ourselves. So every now and then I hear grumblings from comedians in Chicago or anywhere in the country. And this goes to anyone in life. If you're unhappy with your situation, do something about it. You mentioned someone, you have this tequila you talked about.
Yeah.
There was a tequila that Brian had showed me before we started the podcast going, this tequila
Siete Leguas.
was a guy who got laid off during the recession.
No, that was the hot sauce.
Oh, the hot sauce. I'm sorry, the hot sauce. This guy started his own hot sauce after he got laid off during the recession, thinking I got laid off.
For Ford.
I got nothing else. Worked for Ford because the auto industry got fucked during that 08, 09, 07 thing.
Scotty O'Hottie.
Another sponsorship.
Made in Michigan. No, it was.
I'm reading a book right now where it talks about a woman who got diagnosed with cancer, quit her job immediately because she's like, I only have so much time left. I'm going to do what I love. Cancer went into remission, and she's making money doing what she loves.
Which is what?
I can't remember what the exact thing was.
Dick.
I'm blaming it. Yeah. Hey, that's what you love. You love sucking dick. Damn it, there's a market out there for you.
She's rich as fuck.
And guess what? I'm glad you brought that up, Brian, because that's another thing I read. Sucking dick cures cancer. So if you really...
Moral of the podcast.
More of the podcast, sucking some dick. Well,
the big C, men.
Yeah, the big cock. So it's funny when you're talking about going back to like bettering yourself. It's always there's a lot of stories like this where someone's like, I was at bottom, so then I decided to go for what I loved, and now my life's amazing. So if you're listening to this, go for what you love fucking now. Don't wait to get cancer. Don't wait to get laid off and hit rock bottom. Take the goddamn risk, because when you're in your fucking 80s, you're gonna look back on why the fuck did I gamble on that shit
why,
now?
like I think
that's why you push comedians, because you don't.
Chef.
You want them to
go
for it.
And I was working in the industry, and I didn't love it. And then I got out of that, and I started valeting because I could make a lot of money valeting. And I was like, let me do this for a while. And then I was like, I need to get into comedy because I fucking love it so much that. And I know so much about it because I'd listened to so many fucking podcasts, industry podcasts. I found myself listening to podcasts about the business of comedy, and I'm like, I should probably be involved in this somehow because
you're gravitating towards it.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of people that listen to the business side of it or like study the business side of comedy. And I was like, fuck it. I looked on Craigslist for like a week, and I found that they were hiring here at Door. And so I started off at Door. I was like, I got a security background because I was a cop.
Did you know that? He started as a door guy?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah. I know we talked about when we'd walk in. I mentioned that a little. Yeah.
I started out the Door, and then I was like, I need I realized.
That's how I found out you were military through shooting the shit with you at the Door.
Yeah, and then within like at least like before 6 months probably, I became a night manager, and then within like a year and a half after that, I was the club manager.
And your sister works at the Hollywood one, right?
Yeah, I got my sister a job at the Hollywood one. She's been there like over 3 years.
I like some of her
now.
stuff. She's funny.
Yeah. She's a good person, man. Like,
your sister's super cool.
I love it because like
I'm a fan.
knew because how she is as a person, like bring her into that situation, it would bring like happiness to it. Because like I think a lot of times at comedy clubs, there's some gloomy fucking people. Like
this is true.
Even like anywhere that you work, there's some gloomy. And my sister is very like. She's fucking loud. She's like anytime you're around her, you can feel it. Like she's that type of
big
person.
personality.
Yeah,
she's perfect for this world. So I want to address 2 things before we go into our final questions. And you're looking at the DMs, which I appreciate very much, Sperry. I want to go. I mentioned Theo Von earlier. I wanted to go back because we were talking about the comedian you had a bad experience with, and how some comedians take shortcuts and how other comedians don't like shortcuts because a lot of us have to work hard. I mentioned Theo Von. I didn't complete my thought on that. Theo Von got kind of notoriety from being on Road Rules.
Yeah.
He was on Road Rules and the Real World Road Rules Challenge.
But nobody knows him from that.
Some people do, because when I first saw he was doing stand-up, because I saw him on Last Comic Standing, maybe my first year of doing stand-up.
You're also an 80s baby.
I was born in 84, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Well, it's a little different. But, I mean, you say nobody. There are people who know that. You think I'm the old? I'm 33. There's a
No, I know, but
more people are older than me than younger than me.
Most people know Theo Von from Joe Rogan or, like, from his own podcast.
Well, yeah, in the podcast world, they would know that. Yeah, his podcast is great, and he kills it on Rogan's podcast, too. So, and Rogan's podcast is the biggest in the world, obviously. But initially, other comedians knew him as, oh, this dude's from Road Rules. He's trying to do it. And when he was on Last Comic Standing, I remember when I first saw him take the stage, I'm like, that dude was on fucking Road Rules because I watched that shit, you know?
Yeah.
I was
I
an
still
MTV
watch
kid.
it. I still watch
I
it.
don't anymore.
I'm
That's
obsessed with
weird
the
that you still
challenge,
watch
dude.
it. All right, man.
No,
Well,
I bet you if you watch the challenge with me, you would get back into it like a
all right,
motherfucker.
well, I don't want to. I've got enough distractions. I don't need to get into
Everybody
that.
looks like Zacco.
That sounds about right.
Hell
For those of you
yeah.
who know what Zacco is, he's about 6'5", 225 of muscle
we
with
brought him
that
up a
long
lot.
hair.
This is,
We have brought him up. If he doesn't
fuck
fucking listen,
Zacco?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't know.
You wouldn't bang Zacco?
I mean, sure, just to see what it was like, for sure. I've never fucked.
It's
a
like
guy
a
that
roller
looks like
coaster. Like you're just like, I need to like ride it once.
Yeah,
to get
absolutely.
There you go.
see the loops.
But I could say that about any man. You know, I
See,
haven't
thank you
had
for saying that, actually, because I was thinking, I hope I'm going to think that about every dude. I'm going to take that for a
I
test
could do
drive.
that, but I'd try anybody.
Mike waves again.
Hey there, Mike. Hey, Mikey. Behind the camera looking good. All right, Zacco, we don't want to fuck you, but you came up because of random conversation. But yeah, dude, good on you, my man. Posture. That's what came up. It went from posture to sex. That's where it goes. So I
where
wanted
it
to give
always
Theo his just due because even though people knew him from that motherfucker put the work in.
Yeah.
He is a stand-up comedian.
Well, the first
he
thing
is comedian number one.
about comedy
right?
is you have to like you guys talk about the thing with CK. Like it's the work. You have to
Not
put
Louis
the work.
C.K., the comedian with the initial C.K. Just
You have to put the work in no
Yes,
matter
you do.
what.
Otherwise, you're a phony. Yes.
Comedy's the motherfucker that you have to put the work in. Any other, it doesn't exist. Like, especially if you want to go more than 5 minutes, you have to put
You
the
have
fucking
to.
work
You
in.
have to.
It's work. It's
Yes.
real work. Like, people, you fucking, it's maybe not physical, like where you need to fucking dig a ditch, but it's real work where you're thinking about it. It takes 90% of your brain space.
You really
know?
to be super successful, and I think I always fought people on this, and this maybe I'll dive deeper into other podcasts because we don't have this. I want to keep this a little bit tighter this week, everybody. Thanks for listening. I've asked people, I go, why aren't athletes considered artists? And people have fought me on that, and I go, well, ballet is considered art.
Right.
It's physical. Why I think what a lot of athletes do is art. People whose competitions are different. I'm like, to me, I feel like they're closer. I'll get into it later by why I think athletes should be considered artists in a sense. But
I don't like the fact that people don't think you can have competition in art.
you can, of course.
Of course you
Of course
can.
you can. You shouldn't. You should almost compete against yourself in a lot of ways.
That's all it is.
That's all. It's
That's
almost like golf.
that's
You
the
compete against the
competition.
course, not the other golfers.
For
right?
anybody.
Yeah. And that's what it is. That's why I'm getting more into getting the mental warfare of it, because I never thought about the mental side of it. I
Yeah,
thought I'll
it's
just
all
fucking do it
mental.
and then fucking drink beers and then shake off bad sets, like whatever. Anyway, though, the whole thing with athletes is that I brought it up as a whole with musicians, comedians, whatever your art form is, whatever outside the typical 9 to 5 you're going for in your life, you have to have this kind of like reckless abandon where it's like, I gotta fucking go for this shit. You can't half-ass it. You gotta put the work in. You know what I mean? So, and that's why I kind of throw athletes in there too, because you have to work so hard to get to that point.
Yeah.
People kind of dismiss athletes where like, oh, they were just gifted and born lucky. I mean, yeah, obviously there's some talent there. You have to be initially funny before you get into comedy too.
I hate
You
to say
have to have a decent voice before you get into fucking music. You have to, or if you're gonna be a singer, you have to have some rhythm.
auto tune, but
Yeah, true. I mean, true, but there's still something to that, right? And but the other thing, I forgot to finish my Theo Von point. I'm getting better at this. Where sometimes I listen to the podcast and I go, I brought up this thing and never finished my thought on it. And people listening might be like, well, I wanted to fucking hear the end of that.
You should do like an afterthoughts thing where you're like,
might
I'm gonna
need to.
finish every single.
I jokingly said on one of the podcasts that I should rename this. Wait, what the fuck was I talking about? Which would be a good name for a podcast. What was I saying? I mentioned Gary Vaynerchuk or whatever. If you type in Gary V on YouTube, you're gonna see 4 million
It's
videos.
like nobody knows how to pronounce his name. I feel like.
No, that's why I think he goes
It's
by
like
Gary V.
in my head it was Vaynerchuk.
Yeah, I think he goes by Gary V now. With the social media thing, where you were earlier saying like you might lose some. He has a theory where he goes punch, punch, hook, like a boxer, meaning value, like content. You have to be like, here's something funny, here's something funny. The hook is buy tickets to see my show.
Yeah, because they don't like when I don't get as many likes as like these are my shows for the month.
Exactly.
I get
if
the
you
jokes.
if you do a
and
whole
the sexy selfies.
if your whole social media is buy tickets to this, buy this, hear me on this, listen to this, people will eventually tune you out. It's white noise.
Yeah.
But if you're doing funny shit, and then every now and then you throw in, oh, by the way, I'm going to be in Orlando next weekend at the blah, blah, blah. Come see me. Tickets here. Then it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the people are totally like, oh, yeah, fine. But if you're doing it, and I like his theory on that. I think that makes perfect sense.
I also think like the thing that you're representing with whatever your tickets are or whatever you want them to come do has to be creative as well. So if you figure out a creative way to post whatever the fuck it is that you're promoting, it'll work.
Yes. When I post, hey, I'm going to be at the Laugh Factory, I've got comps, I don't just end it with that. I have to throw something kind of funny in
you
there.
have to throw a funny fucking whatever.
I have to throw another line about, by the way, you can't, because that's what I hate about Twitter right now. So many comedians, dude, it's fucking hacky as shit. It's awful. It's what is kind of, both sides do it, right and left, right wing, left wing. But I see comedians who I find very fun. I've said it before. I like Kumail Nanjiani a lot. When I was coming up as a comic, he helped me out. Really good dude. I hate his Twitter. Fucking hate his Twitter. He'll write Donald Trump is terrible. That's your fucking tweet?
Well,
you're a comedian. Make it funny, motherfucker.
Twitter is dying though, so it's
I get it because people got lazy.
You look at
because they're playing their fucking audience too much.
Look at Sarah as an example. Like she'll post a tweet,
and I think that dude's brilliant. I don't know why he doesn't add more to it. I'm sorry. Go ahead about Sarah.
No, but she'll post a tweet, he gets like 20 likes, right? And then she'll post the same tweet on Instagram, 400 likes.
Yeah,
it's the same.
I definitely think Twitter's hurt itself in a lot of ways. Yeah, it does. I'm still on it. I throw it on there.
You have to, though, because I think it's very good for writing.
It's better with Facebook as far as promoting stuff. You could share a link on Twitter and it won't get buried. You share a link. Everyone out there right now, and I've had to tell friends this because it got sad how much Facebook got evil with this shit. And Facebook is useful in a lot of ways, but I had friends sharing GoFundMe links and they weren't getting likes where they're like, what the fuck? Like, people are just ignoring this? I'm trying to raise money for someone who's dying. What the fuck? And I go, you shared the link. When you share a link on Facebook, they will bury that post. I hope everyone out there listening really accepts this because this is a truth. They fucked up algorithms. They don't want anything taking people away from Facebook.
Yeah.
That's why people started, instead of sharing the YouTube link, people started uploading the video directly to Facebook.
Of course.
Facebook has been smart where they're like, who's our latest competition? Snapchat? We'll do our own Snapchat. Facebook stories. Boom. They own Instagram stories. Anything that comes along. Oh, Periscope. We'll do Facebook Live.
Right.
Boom. They are fucking this evil conglomerate or whatever the fuck the word.
It's not evil. You just gotta adapt.
It's not evil, but
you gotta adapt to them.
You gotta adapt to them. I don't know.
It's like any social media. That's the biggest thing about being an entertainer now is that you have to adapt to social media, no matter what the fuck it is. Even if you don't think it's gonna work, like it's like
Vero tried to come along and maybe they'll figure it out. But
a lot of people try to wait on everything, and it's like, just try it. And then if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, then fuck it. But
also, by the way, I remember. In 2009, people saying podcast. That's when Joe Rogan started his.
Yeah.
So in 2009, people thought podcasts have been done to death, blah, blah, blah. No. You could... I'm looking on the wall right now. We're in the Laugh Factory studio. A bunch of comedians signed the wall and all that stuff. I think I've signed 3 times because I keep forgetting I signed already. So great signatures I'm seeing left and right. I'm looking at Christina Hutchinson right now.
Huge.
Which, by the way, I grew up on Hutchinson Street. So I should not be saying that on a podcast. I already mentioned the neighborhood. Don't figure out where I'm from.
Visit you? Like,
don't be assholes. Don't narrow down my neighborhood. I don't live there anymore, and I haven't lived there since I was 4.
Teen.
2.5. Anyways, Christina Hutchinson and Corinne Fisher have Guys We Fucked podcast.
Yeah.
Started that, 2 years ago? A couple years ago?
Yeah, like 2012, 2013.
Really? I thought it was more like 14, 15. All right, maybe 14, 15 is when I heard of it.
Maybe, yeah.
But even so, 2012, this is where comedians are fucking idiots. If you would have talked to comedians in 2012, 2013, a lot of them I remember I started a podcast with Megan Gailey in 2012, and a lot of people were like, another podcast? I go, look, I've always liked radio. I mentioned you guys before. I wanted to go into broadcast journalism. Before I even thought about being a stand-up comedian, I wanted that. And podcasting, which I love about it, which is why I encourage people to, if you like this, tell people you know, because I want more listeners, because I love doing this.
Yeah.
I love it. I got a passion for it, right?
What you should do is everybody that's a fan of this, go to somebody that you know, take their phone and automatically subscribe them.
Good man,
Just go
Brian.
borrow their phone and fucking look up the podcast and subscribe them to it.
I've been talking about the reviews, how I want people to review, and I'm going to save up some money for beer koozies or shirts and stuff like that. And even if you've already reviewed, I'll retroactively send it out to you.
Yeah.
So my buddy Mick Betancourt did that with his podcast,
Yeah.
and he got 500, 600 reviews. And it's worth it, though, because it's investing in yourself. And that's what social media is as a performer, as a business. If you got a business, you're selling candles out there, you're investing in yourself. This is the new fucking thing. All right, before Sarah hits her crazy DM she got, I do 3 random questions. The only person who answered all 3 was Abby Sanchez podcast, and I believe Chelsea Hood might have too. You don't need to. Pick one each of you. This question I've done for each person. How did you lose your virginity? You could skip that one if you want, obviously. I keep that one every week because the stories are always way different. Mm-hmm. You know? The second 2 have changed. Number 2 is, what's a talent you wish you had, and would you trade whatever your current talent is? So obviously for Sarah, it's comedy. Brian, it's your amazing managerial sense. Yeah, see, I think Brian could do. All right, and number 3, what is your ultimate revenge fantasy? So you don't have to answer all 3. Just pick the one you want. You know, maybe I could do, we're talking about content creating, maybe I could film you guys answering the other 2, and I could put that on my Patreon, because I've been looking to start a Patreon. I haven't done it yet.
Revenge
I don't know if I have enough.
fantasy?
Yeah, like what's your, like if you, I had a friend, I'll summarize it real quickly. This is what made me think of this question. I had a friend who he's been married to her for a long time. They're the happiest couple.
Dead.
They got kids. They're great, obviously. But he told me this like when they, like a year or 2 into dating. He said like him and his now wife were talking, and she said, "What would you do if I cheated on you?" Mm-hmm. She's like, "Well, let me guess, you'd kill me," because like, you know, that's such a guy response. He looked at her straight in the eyes and said, "If you cheated on me, I would not kill you. No, of course not. You know what I would do? I would kill your entire family. That way, every time you thought about your family being dead, you could remember it's because you were a whore cunt." He told me this.
I get it.
And I go, "You did not say this."
Greek Eddie is mean.
Greek Eddie's a
That's
dick.
a fucking
yeah,
dickhead
man.
person.
I'll
Anyway,
answer all
though,
3.
that's what I mean by revenge fantasy. Something along that regard.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, if you want to answer all 3, I mean, we're going a little bit.
You can
I
go
want to keep the
first,
podcast
go
close to an hour and a half.
Or should we
Because
rotate?
Mike's looking at me like, "Dude, what the fuck, man? I love you. You're the best, man."
Talent I wish I had.
Pick one. Just pick one.
Oh, one.
Just pick one. You don't have to do all 3. Just pick one. I want you each to pick one. I know it's tough.
We go all 3? No? Okay.
If you want to do all 3, I was thinking I could do the bonus material with the other ones.
I could be quick with them.
All right, be quick with them. Fine. I don't get my bonus material.
What
like I
do you
wanted.
want? What do you want me to do?
I was going to do bonus material, like film it on my phone and then upload that to
Okay,
something.
You can do
so
that
just
too. You
answer
got
one
Mike.
right now.
Just answer your favorite one. Virginity
Virginity's my favorite.
Talent
Obviously, I'm
or
so
revenge
excited to lose
fantasy?
it. No.
one of these days, you'll get it.
I'll get it. I'll
Silver
get it.
Fox over
No,
here.
I was super young when I. Oh God, my mom's gonna be watching this. That's okay.
Was it in her bed?
No.
Oh, okay.
But it was with her boyfriend. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God!
No, I'm kidding.
You were say that shit, and then
No,
we worried, and then we were. I wanted to high five you by hit his shoulder and stuff.
That's the best story ever.
No, she's been married to my dad for 40 years. No, I was
How old are you?
really young, 14.
Oh wow, that's the first person who's beaten me.
I was 14 as well.
15.
Get the fuck out of here! I was
15?
This is hilarious.
But it doesn't-
Because on every not only on podcasts, because I haven't been asking this question that long, but in my regular day-to-day life, especially with comedians, I find I'm one of the earliest at 15. You two at 14.
I was
Abby was
14.
like 36. Right?
Yeah, see, I hit Abby. You heard the one with Abby. He was
15.
fucking.
It does.
It was
No,
yesterday
no.
for Abby.
When I say like losing my virginity, I mean like a penis went into me for 2 seconds. Ow, it hurt. It went out. And then 2 years later,
Did he have a condom
I
on?
had
Did he come?
No, none of that
Oh,
happened.
2 seconds. I like that you asked
But
that.
I
'cause 2
mean, a
seconds, I
dick
was like,
went into
hey.
me, and then 2 years later, I was
Did it
having,
break
like,
your
a
hymen?
I don't know.
Was your hymen already broken? Because some women get it from,
How do you-
yeah, and
Maybe.
tampon stuff.
Yeah,
you
or
know.
riding a horse. I don't know if you were.
I don't know how any of that works, man. The
I don't
vagina's a mystery
I don't
still.
know how that. I don't know how my vagina works. I don't
I
know.
know where
Talk
I know
about
where I know where to
UTIs,
put my
who knows?
penis and I know where to put my tongue, and that's all I know about the vagina. Everything else.
I barely
But
know
by the
that.
way, though, what else do you need to know as a man?
Nothing really.
Where to put your dick, where to put your tongue. That's
Yeah.
all else you need to know, fellas.
Yeah, I fucked that up.
All right. But yeah.
So how did it go down though?
It was in his.
So he put it in for
parent-
2 seconds,
It
but
was
where
in
was
his
this?
parents'
Okay.
basement. We were like boyfriend, girlfriend, and this was like the first guy I ever like really, really liked. We dated for like a couple years, like into high school, a long time.
So was this at the end of the relationship you did this? Or
like the middle, I guess. And
then you didn't try again, though?
I don't remember. We did a lot of hand stuff. Under the blanket. While we were like doing it, his mom started coming downstairs.
I pictured hand puppets. When you said
the worst.
Like we're under the blanket, and she's like, "You guys need anything?" And we're like, "No, we're good." And then we walked back upstairs, and it was horrifying. It's actually not a good
Did
memory.
he come? Did he come from the?
I don't remember. I don't even know if I knew what cum was at that. Like I'm 14.
So he didn't have a condom on.
No, he did. He must have.
Well, maybe he came into the condom and you don't know. Maybe 2 pumps was all he needed.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm throwing scenarios out there to mess with you.
I'm
curious.
I've had sex
Yeah.
with girls that told me my parents were home, so I had to stop. And then like parents weren't home, but they still had to go because I came.
Yeah, you wanted to make it look like you weren't.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
All right, hurry up.
That's
Did you guys
that's
hear
the
something?
that's the sexual equivalent to me showing up late to football, so people argue who gets
I
trick me.
have to pee so bad.
Same
I have to
ego
hurry
thing.
up and answer
All right,
this.
it's,
You
yeah,
can go
answer
pee.
yours.
Go ahead.
Well, you can go pee because you don't. Well, you got to finish your DMs. Go pee while he finishes it off. Podcast is going
actually a little
slightly
longer.
longer than I wanted
Sorry,
to.
I'm
No,
sorry.
don't worry about it. Well, I know I've never set a time limit to the podcast. God
She
damn it,
said,
Sarah!
"Fuck this
Outside noise.
Job.
But Mike
hiring.
Crowley, who is so good at what he does, I'm a big fan of what you do. He showed me a clip of a podcast he filmed, and it was amazing. He's filming me now, and I want to respect his time. That's why I don't want to go too deep.
He's fine. My virginity, I lost at 14.
By the way, that's the question you want to answer?
Yeah.
All right, cool. That's
I'll
fine.
do any other one too, but
No, we'll
this
do it
one's
later.
actually a little bit fun. So I lost my virginity to a girl named Rachel that was my friend Joe's cousin, and he.
Joey's cousin Rach, you banged her,
Joe
eh?
invited me over and like was like, hey, like blah blah, and like the only thing I had done before that was suck her tits, and that was the only thing I had ever done in my life. Like it was only sucking boobs.
Man, I haven't heard the phrase "suck her tits" in a long ass time.
Did you ever just suck
Dude,
tits?
you ever just suck tits? I'm sure,
Before-
like in high school or
before
grade
that-
school.
before you
not
did
grade
anything,
school.
you were just
Although I
sucking
fingered a
titties?
girl in grade school. That's when I
Yeah.
first fingered. Sixth
Yeah.
grade, I think, at the Burger King in Milwaukee near the fantasy costumes, which you guys used to use for your fucking character
Very
assassination
true.
show. Porch
still-
Park, shout
we
out, baby.
still
That's my
use
neighborhood,
them.
Porch
We
Park,
still use
baby.
them.
Yeah, they're great, man. I love fantasy costumes, but there's a Burger King right next door to it.
This has a weird
I
story.
got a little
though.
up in
I lost
there.
my virginity to a girl named Rachel, and like, so we my buddy. Do you remember these like couches that you played video games on that would fold out to like a bed that you could sleep on?
Absolutely, yeah.
It was like a 4-piece.
It's almost like a
kinda-
chair that rolled
yeah,
out.
you could,
Not a
like,
full
fold-
couch, but
yeah,
yeah, I
you
know what
could,
you mean.
like, fold it out.
Big in college dorms. Here comes Sarah Perry. He's talking about
Big in college dorms, yes.
banging in college
that's-
dorms.
So we had sex on one of those in the guy's closet.
But you were 14.
14.
So you were
yeah.
8th grade or freshman?
I failed 8th
Why were you
grade,
in
so I was in
college?
8th grade.
Oh, so you're in 8th grade times 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wasn't in college. You used what I fucked her on in college, but
That's
so
why we brought it up.
It was
Yeah.
it was in the closet. Now we did everything besides I sucked her boobs the first day. Like before that,
Suck some tit. It's so funny. I haven't heard it in so long. Sorry, Brian. It's so
Yeah,
funny.
So like then
It's like a woman saying I rubbed his balls. You know?
she gave me head. I fingered her. I ate her out. Everything.
You
in
ate
the
her out.
same
Good man.
day.
That's a gentleman.
First time.
Do you eat your wife out?
First time doing
Of course.
everything.
Oh, yeah.
Every time.
First time.
Every time?
Yeah.
You deserve
Why wouldn't I?
First time in that ever in the same day, right?
Yeah.
So we have sex in the bedroom, or it was in the closet in the bedroom, and then they're like, "Let's move to the bed." We moved to the bed. Joe, my friend,
Me. I was there.
kicks in the door, and watches us have sex for a second. And I was like, "Dude, leave!" Like we're having, and he's like, and then like this is his cousin. So he's his
This
cousin.
is what you bang. That's even what a fucking
Way
creep.
worse.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm mad now.
Eventually,
It's one of your
he-
buddies. It's like all right.
Right,
That's
yeah.
it's
But it
still
was his
bad, but you
cousin.
get it. Yeah.
Eventually, he left. Now, I'm going to take you on a little story real quick. So, when I was in 5th grade, there was a guy named Caleb, and he was my bully. So, I got bullied a lot by this kid.
Is this your
Gross
revenge story right now?
name.
Did you fuck his mom?
So-
Tell me that's your revenge story. You fucked this dude's mom.
So, he
Sorry, I
had,
got excited.
He
I
had,
got pumped. I got so pumped.
he had a port wine stain on
Because there's no coming back from that.
He had a port wine stain on his face that was like almost half his face. Like it looked like Phantom of the Opera, and we all
Okay.
called him Scarface.
A what stain?
And he was a
They call
bully?
it port wine stain.
I don't-
Yeah, because
what's
he
that?
was 6'2" by the time he was in 5th grade.
Jesus,
So
yeah.
he could just and he got his dad was in prison, so like he was bully all the way. So he would chase me home from school every day, right? I went to the big pool growing up, which is like the public pool.
Yeah.
He stole my bike, threw it in the river, threw rocks on it, like fucked my bike up. He stole 2 of my bikes throughout my life.
I had bullies throw my new winter jacket down a sewer.
Yeah, starter jacket. Was it a starter jacket or a pro player?
No, I was like 6 or 7. It was just a jacket. They were assholes.
Yeah.
And I almost fought one of them in a diner because I recognized him. I almost had like a Goodwill Hunting. Hey, you used to beat me up in kindergarten moment. And I walked up to him. He was 5'3". I was 6'1". I would have fucking killed him.
Yeah.
Would have killed. And that was enough to know. That was enough I needed for revenge.
Good.
That was a little teaser of a revenge story. Yeah, I would have fucking crushed this dude.
Yeah.
Because I was already beating the fuck out of people that were bigger than me. If you're, dude. I like Conor McGregor after beating Eddie Alvarez. You got to have attributes.
Right.
You got to. If you're gonna come at this kid, you can't be my size.
Such tense bully. The only bully I had, she just bullied me relentlessly on AIM, and now she's 20. She's my age. She has 2 kids from 2 different people, and she's unmarried. So
I dated a girl in grade school who currently has 4 kids from 4 different guys.
Hell yeah.
By the time she was
my
23,
God.
and I didn't. I'm glad I didn't
You
bang
warmed her up.
I was not. I dated her like in 7th, 8th grade. By before high school ended, she had 4 kids,
but
4
that's
different
my-
guys.
This kid
Sad
Caleb,
man.
this
Big
kid
Stone Cold
Caleb-
Steve Austin fan too.
This kid
Surprisingly.
Caleb, he robbed my house growing
Sorry, yeah,
up.
back to Caleb.
He
Yeah.
robbed my house. Okay.
What an asshole.
So
man.
he found out where I had like we had skeleton keys, but we had like a spare key. He found it.
Is this still your sex story, your virginity story?
My virginity story. He stole my Discman. He stole everything. Like he stole a bunch of shit from my house. He used to hang out in my house for like we found out later like for like 6 months while I was at high school. I was at like my high school was 7th through 12th. So like while I was at school, he would fucking be at my house and
Sounds
he
like
would
a serial killer.
This
yeah.
dude is mental, man.
mental, but in and out of like juvie, like had a lot of I get it. So this dude married the girl that I lost my virginity to.
Wow.
My high school bully.
So you took her
my
V
grade-
card.
My grade school bully. No.
Oh, she had fucked
took
before.
my V card.
Oh, okay.
I was like 7, but
Well, you were 14, you said, but I get you.
yeah, no, I was 7 in her number of guys.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
I
Number
thought he
seven.
meant 7 years old too.
I was like,
and
damn,
what did I
dude.
miss? While I was
I should have let off with that.
I was her number 7, lucky number 7,
All
and
right.
sorry, and she, thank you, and she married the guy, and now they've like I follow her on Facebook, and there's a lot of interaction. I don't know if she'll listen to this. I'm sorry, great person, have kids.
What is her
I get it.
social security? I'm
Don't
just kidding.
know
You know
anything.
what, though, man? I still want to know this guy's name. You can tell me off air.
Caleb. But
But give me his last name. Let me know where he is.
That's the most ultimate form of bullying, right?
I'm married, but I think my wife would be okay with it. I'm going to fuck his mom for
revenge.
revenge for you.
I think
'Cause that's the ultimate,
To
man.
be honest, I feel like his mom's passed away.
Well, let me know where her graveyard is, because
You're
I will
fucking-
dig her up. No, because anyone who does that is mental warfare. You're at school, he's cutting class to fucking rob you?
Dude,
Oh, you gotta fuck that dude's
high
mom.
Or my 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Akiria, she would hold him after class for 5 minutes so I could get a running head start
You
home.
told me that.
He was that bad a bully,
Yes.
huh?
He would
And the
whoop my
teachers
ass.
knew?
He would whoop my ass. Listen,
You told me this.
Joe, I didn't know how to fight until I was like in 9th grade. When I was like 9th grade hit, then I was like, all right, I'm gonna fight.
And now
like,
I think you could hold your own.
I'm fine now.
Yeah.
I definitely I've trained a lot, but I like until like
Big
9th
UFC
grade.
guy.
I was-
You and I. I'm gonna have you on again to talk UFC. Like
yeah.
in a couple.
But like,
when
that's the ultimate bully, right? Like he married the girl that I lost my virginity to, so they're always connected, and they're still married. Like, I don't know if they're divorced, but they argue a lot. on
but
Facebook,
you
and
win
I
in that
see
one,
it.
if you ask me.
Yeah, no,
You
I
don't
always,
think you win because you fucked
Definitely.
her first.
sure, but
No,
that,
but first
does
of all,
that matter?
no, it doesn't, because that's like a real high schooler sloppy
Yeah,
seconds
yeah.
thing. It doesn't
He
matter.
married her, and
Yeah, I
now I
guess he
gotta.
wins in that
Anytime
regard.
I think
Yeah,
about
you're
her,
right.
I
Never
think
mind.
about him.
Oh,
So-
yeah, I guess
What
he
are you
wins.
thinking about her?
Yeah, never mind. He
Well,
wins. I'm
it's like
sorry.
anytime somebody brings up the first time you.
So your virginity story was also a revenge story in a weird way, but you haven't done the revenge yet.
Yeah.
There's no
You know what you gotta
revenge.
You said they have kids?
The only revenge
Real
is
quick.
to fuck her
Real quick.
daughter.
Now, hold on, Sarah.
I gotta
stop
fuck
it.
her daughter. To for
Does she have a
revenge.
daughter?
Yeah.
So you got to wait until she's 18?
She's like 16 today.
Oh, well,
But,
you
like,
got 2 more years and you
yeah.
got to fuck her brains out, son.
Birthday is today.
Dude, let's
I
look
pick
at
her
me
up,
right now.
I pick her up.
You when she hits 18,
Yeah.
the day after, because you let her celebrate with her parents, but the day after you go, hey, happy birthday, sweetheart.
See, I didn't tell that
Get
part
in.
of the story.
And then
The-
you get in.
The
You know
guy
what
that
I
was
mean?
my bully, he lived with the kid that walked in on me. So like after he moved out and moved in,
Jesus
that's
Christ,
why he
man.
met her. And then they've been together. And then he's been. I grew up.
Yeah, good lord.
I'm super white trash.
So
like
white.
it's so
You should
super
see
white
pictures of
trash.
him from like high school. He looked like Eminem, but worse.
Were you a fat kid growing up or no?
In between, yeah, I was
In between,
fat
okay.
for a long time, and then I hit my growth spurt, and then
I
like
only ask because so many people. I mean, you're not. I mean, but like who work in comedy and are around this.
yeah, no,
It's amazing to me how many people who are like I've had Joan on the podcast a few times. That dude was huge growing up.
Yeah.
He's a fucking like fitness guru now. Not a guru, but he's in good shape. You know what I mean? And it's amazing how many people I'll run into and they'll tell me I was a fat kid growing up, and I'm like, you weigh 150 pounds soaking wet right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you do it?
I was more like I wore FUBU, like I was
I had a FUBU jersey that I borrowed
Yeah.
from a neighbor that I wore
Carl
for a little bit.
Kanai. Like I
I had that phase.
K
I had a little bit of a
Swiss.
hip hop phase for briefly, but I was always a grunge kid, man.
Mine was like 4 years.
In high school, I was still all my friends were listening to rap, and I remember being a city kid because my white city kid friends would listen to rap, and I was like, "That's fine, I'm all right, you know." Then they started listening to country, and I laughed because I'm like, you know what? You went from rap, a genre of music you really can't identify with because you're a white kid, and now you're listening to country, a genre of music you can't identify with because you're a fucking city kid. Can you guys just listen to rock and roll like I listen to? Can we just listen to fucking loud guitars and heavy drums? Can you do that for me? And then they were always into poppy bullshit. We got another police siren in the background. I don't know if the audio's picking that up, but
I don't
let
think
that
it's
lead
not
into.
picking up. He
It's
said.
not. All right, good man. Sorry, so I'm adjusting for no reason.
No, you'll hear it. You might hear it a little bit. So like,
It's
actually
good ambience
It's
on
good
it.
to acknowledge it.
No, it is because
You
we're
know-
here.
You know that
So,
shit's real.
Yes, we're doing this for real. We're fucking on Belmont and
By the
Broadway
way, the
in the
windows
goddamn
are
city of
closed.
Chicago.
It's not like the windows are
Windows
open.
closed. AC's going. We got handsome Mike Crowley right there looking at us.
Mike, can you hear the AC?
No, I don't think so.
Mike's got a good look. Doesn't
He's-
Mike have a good look? I like your look, Mike.
He looks like he sucks
No.
some dick with those knees right there. I don't know what's going
Oh,
on.
he's got some scratches on those knees, man. Be careful there. It looks like you stabbed yourself there in the shin. Yeah, there you go, buddy. All right, so Sarah, we mentioned your Instagram blowing up, and I'm sure.
We don't have to do.
No, you have
Do you?
to.
If you know, I
Don't say
teased
their
it.
name, but you
I
definitely
don't
have
say
to.
their names. Just say blank, blank, blank. Obviously, Greek Eddie's not a real person.
So, yeah,
I bring it up because I think you have a good social media presence, and
thank
you probably get a lot of creeps because of that.
I do.
All right, there you go. Let's hear it.
Well, no, like I said before, a lot of them are really nice. They're just like you're super
It's a
funny.
2-hour podcast, by the way. Anyway, go ahead.
You may. Do you want me to?
No, I want you. Do
No,
like your
first
top.
of all, it was a good 2 hours.
It was a great 2 hours because it felt like 20 minutes,
It's a
right?
good podcast.
It felt like 20 minutes, so I shouldn't even address that. I feel like a dick even bringing it up. Let's cut that
Um,
in post. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead. Pick
some-
like your couple. Just pick a
No,
couple
some are
random ones.
super nice. They're just like you're funny and you're very pretty. I would
We
like.
get it. You got 1,000.
I
Pick
would
one.
like to get to know you, whatever. And then some are just straight out send me a picture of your boobs, send nudes, please. Are you seeing anyone?
Did you oblige to any of those?
No, I
Okay.
never said.
Send a
I-
picture of his nips. I
I
heard they're
pictured-
KKK already. That's.
I want to lick you from your head to your toes. Like, no, stop it. And then
No, don't
one
stop.
of them, I gotta go back and find it. But one of them was very, very, very long, like very long. And in it, he told me like 3 times, I don't do this. I don't normally send.
Did you
DMs."
respond or no?
No, because he told me like 3 times, I don't do this, or I don't normally do this. I just really like you, and if you're ever in LA, I would love to get you a drink, blah, blah, blah. And at the end, he goes, if you're not interested, just do me a favor. Don't show anybody or tell anybody this, because I know you're a comedian, and I know that you're going to make fun of me, and you're going to like poke
He's
fun.
pouring his heart out. That
I
sounds
know.
super
Now
genuine.
you're talking about it.
That sounds so genuine.
Well, you're not
Like,
saying his name.
Hey,
Like, it could have
hey.
been Dying Guy sent you that. Let's hear it. I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm your biggest fan, and I just want you to know I have a crush. I've had a crush on you since the longest. I know
Yeah.
that sounds kind of creepy. LOL with a...
Did he say LOL like that? That's like a
Yeah.
hard LOL.
Oh, my favorite one.
You throw a Z in there when people do
LOL.
Z's? Ugh, fuck off.
Hi. I hope you don't mind me messaging you, but you are so damn beautiful, and I think you're funny as fuck. Keep up all the good jokes, and I hope if you're not too busy, we can chat. My all-time favorite
It's
one
not that bad.
was from an African-American man, and he said...
That sounds racist when you say it.
Well, I think she might need to because instead of her doing that horrible accent she does, she needs to.
Shut up. And
you
he
an African
basically
accent?
just said...
Read it in African accent, please.
I'd
he-
like to fucking do. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
I would like to.
I don't know why I'm doing like that. That was bad what I just did. I did like a.
That was terrible.
I did like a Congo. I don't know. There's a part of Africa where they just make sounds. That was bad. You guys know I'm good. I've had black people on the show and I love them.
Are you good?
Fuck, I'm probably
That's
not.
how you prove you're good, actually. You tell the people that you've had black people on.
Let's drink his
We're
wine.
good. We've had people.
That
Smaller one?
Yeah, no.
All right, thank you. Sorry.
No, my favorite one was from a black guy, and he said, "From all of us black men, like, thank you, hashtag with your thick ass."
Why do you think you was? What was the joke that went viral? Was it you talking about black dudes?
No,
Okay,
it's
I
that
was curious.
everybody on YouTube is commenting that I'm thick. THICC.
Yeah.
Do you guys wait?
And I had to ask Ryan why they were spelling it like that, and he had to explain
Do you
it
know
to me.
why, Joe?
Why?
Why they spelled that way?
Yeah.
No,
do
what
you
does it
know?
mean?
You don't know, right?
Too hot in the
So this is
cunty
like
cock?
a,
I don't know what that stands
listen,
for.
I'm not in the hood, but I pay attention. So CC is because you don't do CK. Now CK stands for Crip Killer. So anytime you write CC, which by the way, I'm gonna tell you, I learned from a comedian. Her name is Joelle Johnson. I don't know if you know her. She's super funny from
Heard
New
the
York.
name, for sure.
Yeah. She has a joke where she says her favorite comedian is Louis CC because
CK
you
is
can't
Crip
say
Killer, yeah.
Crip Killer if you're a Crip. So that's why anytime you see like thick with THICC, they're a Crip.
Oh,
Little-
hot shit on a bike. I like that.
Yeah, that's
All
what
right.
they do because
I like knowing the history behind things.
anything CK stands for Crip Killer.
All right, that's very cool.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
Yeah, I'm not into it, but I understand.
No, I mean
it.
I'm into the history. I
understand
like finding out different reasons why people say different things
Yeah.
and blah blah blah.
It makes
blah,
me
right?
nervous.
All right,
but
cool.
yeah.
Well, Sarah, I think you should,
say your
they
social
say
media.
if you're slipping on ice, turn into the skid. With these DMs, turn into the skid. Have some fun with them.
No,
Go back,
I have
get some good back and forth.
Everyone that's just been like, "You're funny. Come to Los Angeles. Come to." Well, I've responded to them and I've said, "Thank you so much. I appreciate it." And they have responded back like, "Oh my God, you responded to me." Blah blah blah. Those I didn't want to, but he was like, "You should keep a fan base."
No,
some
why
of them
not? Because
no,
you-
exactly.
you know.
But 70% of them are very creepy.
Sure.
And gross and weird.
By the way, as a male comedian, I have women who were like, okay, that's
Yeah,
so inappropriate.
right. We get it. You
But
want
by
to
the
fit
way,
in. It's fucking one person hit you up one time.
One
and-
special
One
case.
person 10 times, and they count as 10 times that happened. That's how it works. Anyway, thank you so much, guys, for joining me
Thanks
here
for
at
having
Kilgallon's
us.
Pub on
This
the
was
podcast.
great.
Yeah, I had a great time with both of you. This was super fun. Where could they find both of you? Brian, you start off. And
Hey,
Sarah,
you
you
can
end.
come to the Laugh Factory
There
in
you go.
Chicago. Come fucking check out
If
the
you're a
show.
listener of this podcast, can we hook them up?
Yeah,
We'll hook you up.
definitely.
We'll hook you up with some comps. That's for damn
You
sure.
can message Joe.
Because
Follow
I'm
him on-
here all
follow him
weekend.
on Instagram.
I'm here in August. I'm here a lot.
What's
And
your Instagram?
My Instagram is I'm at Joe Kilgallon and everything.
Easy.
Here Sunday?
But remember, it's 2 L's.
I think it might be. I'm definitely. I'm
Right?
hosting the late Saturday. I'm hosting the late Friday,
Okay.
which I haven't hosted here in a while.
Thursday,
So I'm
Friday,
excited about
Sunday,
that.
But not the late Friday.
And I'm a good host.
Are you?
You are a good host.
Thank you.
I think you're good at everything you do.
All
Thank you,
right.
Brian. I'm
All
not trying to
right.
suck your dick.
Oh, no, you
Appreciate
were
that.
sucking.
But
Him and
I
I are
feel
gonna drink
like
more
you're,
tequila together
you're
after that comment.
no, you're Joe is a
gonna join
solid.
us.
Joe is a solid. I feel like you. I think what makes you good at whatever you do is effort. And
Effort
this,
and passion.
This is what I was trying to say before. We talked about comedians, and I feel like it's and this is fucked up. For all the comedians listening, it's 90% drive, 10% funny.
I would actually agree on that.
And that's what's it hurts a lot of people.
I got lucky enough where I had good comedians give me that similar advice when I was coming up.
Yeah.
And what you said about as far as social media earlier on, saying comics do it live where they play to the back of the room. On social media, you also play to the back of the room. And I agree with you in that regard. And a lot of comedians out there, if you're listening, or people with any business, wherever the fuck your drive is, playing to the back of the room is a stupid way to go about it. And don't feel bad about promoting yourself. Believe in you. And if you believe in you, you should push yourself.
You have
if,
to.
If you're a comedian, especially if you're a fucking
Who the fuck else is gonna push you?
Yeah, no one else is good. If you don't
Nobody
believe in
gives
your,
a fuck
no one
about
gives a
you
fuck.
besides you.
I used to think to myself, if I quit comedy, people would probably be like, "Oh, what a shame," and then 4 days later they'd get over it.
Right.
Right? That's how that goes.
There's yeah.
So
hey,
fucking
listen,
if you believe in yourself, fight
manage.
for it, promote your belief, like invest in you.
I manage
So,
a comedy club, and
yes.
if you're not around, you're not around.
Yes, out of sight, out of mind, right? Sarah, where could they find you?
All my dates are on SperryComedy.com, and then all my social media is Sperry Comedy. dates are on there as well.
By the way, I'm glad I brought up nicknames because that Sperry is going to stick in fucking
Boom.
minds right
Boom.
there. I did some name recognition for you. So
Slide into my DMs.
That's Brian Morton, Sarah Perry /Sperry, my man Mike Crowley for filming us tonight and recording. I really appreciate you, dude. You're the best.
Mike.
Laugh Factor, everyone who works here, thank you for letting me use your space. I'm Joe Kilgallon. You can listen to past episodes on joekilgallon.com, iTunes, Laughable, Stitcher. I don't think I'm on Spotify yet. I'm trying to. SoundCloud, Google Play, all that stuff. Write us a review. It goes a long way. Thank you for joining
Hey,
Kilgallon's
make your
Pub.
friends subscribe to this podcast.
Make them
too.
subscribe.
Like,
Absolutely.
literally grab their phone and just subscribe. Fuck them.
Fuck yeah. Listen to Brian. He's a smart man. Thanks for listening, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers.